No, it's good. It's Trav Moody here with a Toy Kind of Mood, episode 195. Return of the Mech. That's right. Return of the Mech with Gridiron Studios. We back at it. We got the Terradrome up in here. We got Baldy Locks up in here. We'll go to you, Tony. You're closest to our guests, so I'll say what's up to you, my man.
Terradrome in the house, baby. Just trying to rep the Gridiron sweetness. It's on. It's going to be a live popping show. Thank you guys for all joining us. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I got to ask, KJ right next to you, Black Genghis, you guys were just on a podcast with some of our friends. You want to talk about that real quick, KJ?
Yes. Longtime viewers of the show, shout out to Figure Fight Club. I see you in the chat right now. And also Traxxas and Toyomic Displays. They formed the Action Figure Alliance. So check them out. They stream Wednesdays before the Toy Kind of Mood. So do a double header. Enjoy it. We had a great time. We showed off a bunch of stuff, man. I had to at least show this baby off right here. And of course, this is related to our guest that's coming on the way, right? I gotta show off this pulse rifle. I gotta show off the scrap iron, man. Look what I did to that scrap iron.
We're just gonna show off stuff tonight. I'm in the show off mood because of what you guys were doing.
Look, man, look, this is what we do, man. This is, you know, this
is that fig life. You ain't about that fig life,
all right, we got a man about that fig life. Baldy Locks is about that fig life, even though he's not about that content life anymore. What's good, Zen? Talk to us. Talk to me, will ya?
Hey, baby doll. You know, things are good, man. I mean, yeah, the content's coming. All the ideas are there. It's just, you know, life and work. I've been so busy lately, and the OnlyFans content is blowing up. So
only figs.
A lot of beard play.
That's cool. All right. Without further ado, let's bring him on. Actually, no, before that, I'm so sorry. We got to do a shout out to a fellow Toy Kind of Mood who has a member who has his own channel now. It's Toy Optics. David Speck, not with us tonight, deserves a week off after this terrific review. But yeah, you guys want to talk about Toy Optics and what he can bring? Speak for Speck. I'll let you go, Baldy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a creative dude. His Instagram, his pictures are always on fire. And I think all of us have trying to encourage him and to start his own thing. And wow, he knocked it out of the park with that video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, he's great, man. I just can't wait for more of his specialty is photography. He's a cameraman by trade. He's awesome dude. He's coming out showing more of his character in Toy Kind of Mood. He's got the right setup for his own channel. It's just, you know, he needs to find the time and do it for fun and at his own pace. And now, you know, give him that little push, Travis, with the Nemesis Immortal awesome video that he just did. So hell yeah, Spec. Can't wait to see more of your stuff, brother.
Yeah, Tony, I couldn't say it better myself, dude. I'm really glad this dude's doing this thing. Check out this Nemesis Immortal review. A lot of flair, a lot of style, and just keeping it real, man. That's how we do on Toy Kind of Mood. So I'm glad to see Toy Optics putting stuff on the channel, the flagship here, and him doing his own thing as well.
Yeah, I'm hard at work. One more thing on making a righteous logo for him. Yes, I'm currently at work on a logo more than I have been in the past, but I got some ideas coming down the pike, and me and my boy Tim are gonna hook Toy Optics up with a righteous logo pretty soon.
Sweet.
Yeah. So you guys, you mean he can't get away with this? You don't think? I mean, Warner Brothers doesn't care. They're not going to sue him for this one. I think he'll get away with it. I'm joking. You don't see it on the screen? The Joker logo.
Oh. No, I don't. I'm tripping.
You do not see the comments. Anyways, We'll say, all right, let's say what's up to some folks before we say what's up to our guests. Thanks for killing the lead, man. I appreciate that, Tony. Tony Horton. Hello, everyone. Hope all is well with everyone. And what a great time to be a collector. Yes, Gridiron Studios.
Exactly, Tony. Great name too, brother.
I'm a bit early for once. Cheers. Thanks. I don't care when you guys show up, as long as you show up. Mark,
Exactly.
asking that question a lot. We'll ask that later. That right? I mean, we know Stanley. He's on that with the Dreadnought van. Got the notification.
Go sub to Toy Optics. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Mech legs on the trouble bubble on the way. Yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that. All right. And then we got Johnny Reno in the house. Your boy, Cage Custom.
What's up, Johnny?
Hey, Johnny, we're going to holler at you.
Johnny, got to come on Terradrome, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Terradrome Uncaged.
You're
I'll
next.
throw this one up here right now, but shout out to David Warren Hernandez, always welcome. He's asking, so anybody in the chat going to assembly required at Codename Iowa in Des Moines, Iowa. Originally I was going to go, but then with just the work travel schedule, it was just never going to happen. But we will ask Mark about that if he's ever been interested later on in the show. But as the show progresses, if anybody's going to assemble required, let us know. Johnny B, what up, man? Rich in the house. We met him at Joe Fest and Figure Fight Club, which you guys were just a part of. So, and Brian King, always welcome to see you.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of heads up in here. Yeah, see, when we talk military toys, we get Gridiron or classified. It's a full house right away. Otherwise, we got to wait for you to show up late. Cool. All right, we'll talk more to you guys in a little bit. And yeah, I will say, let's get Toy Optics 50 subscribers tonight, right? I think this review, he did a good deed because he did the review for a toy kind of mood. I cleared it up. It was a little bit of a little controversy, and guess who started the controversy? Not me. But can you guess, Tony? Who's the guy that's always starting some shit in the community?
I think some guy named Larry Frontera.
Yeah, I think that's how Baldy pronounces it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for.
Every single time. Look, David did an amazing review, and originally it was just going to be on a toy kind of mood. It was just like, hey, and then he was so good at it. He's like, I'm fucking way better than Moody. Why am I going to do it for Moody when I could do it on my own channel and get like 5.6K subscribers tomorrow? Fuck Moody, fuck a toy kind of mood. Spec killed it so much that he decided to do his own channel after doing the review. So we just said, look, throw it on a toy kind of mood. We'll promote your channel. And it got great views. It's like at 3K. If you haven't seen it yet, it's right on the screen. Go check that out after we're done. But go subscribe to @Toy Optics, because just based on this one review alone, he deserves your subscribe. And he's got a cool teaser video with all his amazing, like his reel from all his great photography and everything. So yeah, go check that out. Let's get him at least 50 subscribers tonight. That'd be terrific. And then keep in tune with everything that's going on right now. Hey, Payne, haven't seen you in a minute. What up?
What's up, Aaron?
Cool. All right. Let's bring him on. Without further ado, we've kept him long enough.
In the green room.
In the green room. What up? What up, Mark? Mr. Gridiron, Captain Gridiron, what's going on?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
We're good
now, brother.
Yeah. We're excited. We're excited for some of the stuff that's coming, buddy.
Dude, and I got some fun stuff to show you too tonight, so it should be good.
All right, great.
It's terrific. You know, we were talking about the Nemesis Immortal, and I'm getting a lot of comments because some people aren't a fan of these wings. And I'll do a full screen shot right here. I finally got this bad boy in, finally got to open it. So again, shout out to Spec for doing the review for the channel. But Mark, are you okay with Nemesis Immortal and these wings, or do you think there's some Gridiron upgrades on the way for this bad boy? Are you kind of happy with the way he is, or are you staying away from creatures and monsters? Well, what's your thoughts on Mr. Immortal here, and then what can you do with him if you need to?
Well, let's just say, man, I'm not staying away from monsters. That's pretty obvious. But I'm gonna stay away from Cobra Law altogether. I boycotted that shit back in
Me too.
in the 80s. I'm not gonna start doing it now.
The hate for Cobra Law is driving me nuts. I might as well take
Cobra
the
Law,
shirt off,
dude.
man.
I'm just not gonna do it, man. I'm not doing it.
Cobra Law is awful.
It was awful back then, and I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to find out reason why we would be even talking about that figure before Zap, Flash, all those guys. Like, it makes no sense to me at all.
Well, Mark, they've got to entice us, right? So they've got to hold on to some of those characters that people want. So they're gonna sprinkle this here and sprinkle stuff there.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get that they're prolonging like some of that to keep us all on the hook. I get that. I just, man, there's a lot of other things. I mean, how many figures do we have in the line?
150 almost, 140, 150.
Well,
And
140
no-
right here.
Plus
Still haven't
retros,
finished
so
the
like
OG 13.
yeah, 170. Yep.
We can all be talking about this like, oh, how exciting that there's this Cobra Law figure. But we all know, nobody's saying it. We all know nobody liked it back then. So it makes no sense that all of a sudden everybody's liking it right now. So I know that there's just a lot of that same talk that goes on. And I think the more that happens, the more stuff you're going to see that you're not going to want. So I think at some point we have to say something about this as collectors, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to go against you on that one, Mark.
Man, that's America, man.
Because
what we're all
I'll
about.
tell you what, I did not like Cobra Law at all as a kid. That's when GIJoe jumped the shark for me.
Still
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. I get
But
you.
I'm all in on classified, so I'm collecting them. I do like the classified look. I do, and I will show Punk. You can get that Van Dam. All right, buddy, you can get it.
Someone's got to show Punk.
But anyway, I like the classified look. I would have liked more if they did a sub team of Cobra Law that was reality based. If they
Yeah, that
did
would have been kind of
something
cool. Yeah,
right,
yeah. I get
like
that.
a winged suit, like and really just kept it grounded in reality. That's
Yeah.
what I would have liked. But I kind of like where they went with this, and I don't think it means that classified is jumping the shark just yet. I mean, you could have said they jumped the shark when they introduced Tiger Force so early on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, except that's like a marketing. Like we all understand that that's a marketing, like
Right.
you know, thing. This is just one of these things where I think they're swinging and you know, there's gonna be a lot of people that like it, man. I'm not having anything against anybody that likes it. That's toys are toys, man. You got to enjoy what you enjoy. But you ask me about where we stand with it. It doesn't belong in our world. Like our Gridiron universe, there is no such thing.
Right.
So it's kind of how I view it. It's how I viewed it as a kid. It's nothing's really changed, you know.
No, and that's
You
what's
wanted to
great
watch the
about
Force.
that's what's great about GIJoe is that you've got the early line, right, was more military based.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
And then throughout the 80s, it is the only IP I think out there that was able to mix in military, wrestling,
That's right.
sci-fi, and then Land of the Lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think even the space stuff, right? It almost, if I remember right, like my feeling on the space stuff was I wasn't a Battle Force 2000 guy, but like some of our friends, aka Cage, you know, Customs, but Battle Force 2000 to me was like the end of a lot of it. So,
yeah.
But you know, and I'm not gonna say like Payload and all those guys that were real kind of based, because you know, if you think of space and NASA, it's all kind of military based. So that all kind of made sense, and I was all into that. I was a poor kid, so there wasn't no chance of me getting no shuttle or Defiant or anything. So, but at least I appreciated it. You know, it was definitely like in my world if I would have ever been able to get it. But as far as like Cobra Law, like to be honest with you, I think it's a cool designed figure. Like from just a standpoint of an action figure, it's very cool. It's got some really cool features. I know people are saying stuff about the wings. I don't know what else you'd want. I mean, the wings are the wings. I get maybe some bigger type things, but you know, they look a little like goblin-ish instead of like a big old kind of big old.
And that's the classified
gargoyle-ish.
Yeah.
Like bat wings.
I love.
I'd rather have gargoyle-ish.
Well, I like the dumb people out there. And I'm sorry, I'm probably pissing people off, but
Right,
I like the stupid argument of how it would never work. how it would never lift this heavy of a figure, and I'm like, you're saying a man can fly? Like,
totally, yeah.
You
That's
can't
the fun
say a guy
part.
can fly. I don't know.
I
No,
just
I
want to
get it,
step in real quick. Mark, you have a little bit of audio feedback, a little touch of static. It's not a deal breaker, but if you can do something about it, that'd be amazing.
I
If
can hear
not,
it a little bit.
I
I can hear
sure,
it a little
I
bit.
sure hope it's not a deal breaker.
He's like, fuck you, Travis.
What is it? I'm out to lose. Yeah. Okay.
All right, while you do that, I'm going to show these guys some funny stuff on the screen. There we go. There's some DH hell going on with the Nemesis
Oh my
Immortal.
God,
Hence
DHL.
why I just got it just now. I'm usually last in Pulse, but man, I was really last on this one. And I don't know, somehow Spec got it living like 30 minutes from me. Got it like way early. Your item shipped. These are really funny. Shout to Chaz the Guru for these. And then also we got these are Lawrence Alberto on the one on the left. Don't even bother trying to track that package from DHL. It's never going to happen. And our good friend Figure God with the death by shipment from DHL on the right. So really funny stuff for the boy. Did you guys? We'll go to the panel of a toy company. Do you guys have issues with DHL? When did you guys get your Nemesis? Anybody? I don't care.
Well, to be honest, I probably could have had the first review out there. I got it last Friday.
Ooh.
He didn't give
Spec
two
put
damn
you in a force
shit.
joke. Tony and KJ. Tony, you're not even getting Nemesis. You're staying away from Cobra Lao, right?
That's my
And then
boy.
KJ.
No notice yet. I got it when it got back in stock, but it's just been in progress. So.
Oh, okay, but you got it when it got back in stock. You didn't get it
yeah,
early. And we have a funny new if you're new to a toy kind of mood, appreciate you guys. And if you want to give us a like and a subscribe, I appreciate that. Holy mom, is this the behind the scenes guy at Gridiron? He's in front of the scenes. He's been on our
This is
show
the guy at
like
Gridiron.
6 times. He's Mark Vuncannon, the CEO of Gridiron. And he has a shirt
behind
Tony. Yeah.
Behind the scenes are Quaid and Colin and Sandy.
Hey,
He's the only guy here who has an actual action figure.
Yeah. The what? Say it again.
I can hear you.
Are we good? Feedback and everything?
It's all right. Well, it'll make do. Baldy, he said, Baldy, say that again about the action figure. No, I'm talking to Baldy. Can you hear me, Baldy?
Is everybody freezing?
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
KJ.
No. Anyway, Mark, he said you're the only guy with your own action figure. You have an
man.
Operation Monster Force figure. Captain Gridiron.
Yeah,
Commander Gridiron.
Are we
hey,
having audio issues? What's going on?
Are you guys good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Hey,
I'm just pretending to freeze.
I got something to tell you real quick while we're early in the show. Because we don't have to waste time at the end. We're running a 10% off for my buddies over here at Toy Con Mood. So it's ATKM 10. ATKM 10.
Nice. Thanks so much.
I already got that in the banner. It's already in the banner. Here it is.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Marky.
No problem. I forget, any of your followers, man, are definitely Gridiron guys, man. They're with me. So
is it ending at midnight like last time?
Ending at midnight. Okay. Yep.
Same as all right. So the code last time was 10 ATKM. Now it's ATKM 10. So that made life easy for me. I just got the copy and pasted. So
there you go.
Yep. I'm definitely going to get some mech legs because you said those haven't sold out, but we'll talk about that. That's our main event. We're going to get into that. But hey, speaking of reviews, thanks to you, I was able to do an early review of the APC a few months ago. And man, this was one of our most successful views, man. I appreciate that. We got almost like 10,000, like 9,000, 10,000 views on it. It was a big hit. Was it a big hit for you, Mark, as far as sales and reception from other channels in the community and so forth?
Oh yeah, I think between this and the Vamp loadout stuff, and it's just been a crazy year. I mean, just an absolute crazy year. So yeah, dude, your review was awesome, and we just, we like having, ToyCon Mood. There's a deep root with me and you guys. So it's like this made sense, you know.
That's what's up. So the sales were good on it and everything. It was a stellar hit.
We're still making them. We've been 3 weeks behind, backed up for probably 15 business days for almost 7 months.
Wow.
So need to get a ferret and the Cyclops loadout. That is freaking fire.
Oh man, yeah,
Mark, that's actually
I can stop by and get it.
Mark, that's a comment I've seen on social media when people have asked questions. Hey, have you ever ordered from Gridiron Studios? So there's a few of us that kind of champion behind those questions and say, hey, they're a small operation. This is likely what's going on. Do you want to address that at all? Because you just brought it up.
Yeah, no. In fact, it's pretty easy for me. I talk to guys. I mean, daily we get hundreds and hundreds of messages. So there's the percentage of new customers, which I totally understand. Right? We're in a world of Amazon. You know, this has changed the dynamic of online shopping.
Sure.
So when you get somebody ordering and they didn't get it in their hands in 2 days, they're kind of getting a little edgy, you know? And so they'll send a couple messages, and sometimes, most of the guys are really nice and they're just kind of inquiring. Occasionally we get the guys that are like real abrupt, and I'll usually give them a call, talk to them, let them know who we are, what we're about. And by the end of the call, man, we're best friends, and they're just another one of our fraternity, right? So I think for us, we haven't been hiding behind it. We literally put it right on the front of the website. About 15 to 20 business days. We're finding that that's getting to be kind of a common thing now. We're running, typically 800 to 1,000 orders behind constantly. So it's just a matter of us, our small business. We can only handle so much. We've scaled up a ton this year, and we still are in that same time frame. So it says to me that even when we're scaling up, we're garnering a really nice market share.
Sure.
And for as far as I can see, and everybody that's responded, and people that have like posted about the product, everybody seems very satisfied and very happy with it. That's to the end. That's all we can do is just produce the best product we can. Having people get antsy about things that take a little longer, I can't do anything about that other than just tell them this is what the expectations are.
Right, and I am there often, and they don't have a lot of employees. It's them, it's the family. And
we run very skinny for that reason. I mean, the more employee, just think about this logically. Like, we make everything in the United States, so everything's done in our shop. If we go and hire more people and add more things and try to do more, it's just going to get more expensive. So then I'll have all those messages about how people don't want to spend a certain amount of money and all that. Once again, very subjective. So it's kind of like I feel like I'm more or less educating, right? Like, if you're planning on Gridiron, this is what's going to happen, and I can tell you're going to be happy in the end. So, and I appreciate, man, I can't even tell you the amount of gratitude we have for everybody that's in our corner. We have so many of you guys out there that almost act like moderators to me. It's awesome because I see I'll come across a post like 3 days late, and there's already 3-4 comments on there from all of my really loyal customers, guys that really understand who we are already telling the story. So it's a special thing, man. We don't view this like any corporate thing. This is a very grassroots, and we just keep trying to push the limit for everybody that we can,
Well, you know what, Mark? Being busy is a high-class problem. You know what I mean? It's a good problem to have. I think it's fantastic. You're right. There's the Netflix effects. There's the Amazon effect where there's that instant gratification. But
That's
like
right.
you said, it's on the website. So just keep doing what you're doing. And would you call your model more of like a lead time or a made-to-order model, or?
Yeah, it's okay. So I guess this is a good thing to talk about. We haven't really ever touched on this too much because people, I don't think, they don't understand our process because they're used to either it's a 2-year pre-order where you order something and then we all have them out there.
Dragonfly.
Where we get the order and then we forget about it and someday they come in.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't get too angry about it until we realize, hey man, it's 2 years, right? Well, with our process, we can, we have a bunch of choices. We can crowdfund, so I can make it 6 months before anybody sees anything. And I can, try to pull all this money out of everybody before I actually do a product. So it's like for us, it's been better for us to make the product, get through the models, make sure our production's in check, and then offer it for sale. But we're not really stocking until we get the numbers, because at our size of company, we can't go and make 1,000 of something and have it not work.
Right.
Everything has to work. Now, dude, knock on wood, we haven't ever had a bad one. They've all been good. But there's just that time where, some things are better than others, right? Sure. So, and, I think people don't, a lot of you guys that know us now and kind of know who we are. I mean, I have 5 kids and 4 grandkids. Every one of my kids are affected. They're all older. They're all married off pretty much, except for Colin. He's kind of getting there. But we're trying. I mean, all of them are affected by this business. This is our livelihood. So this isn't a hobby or we're doing it in our garage. This is our job. So, it's important for us to make the best product we can. Really, it's the only thing we have to offer. Since we're making it in the States, it's going to be expensive. But what we can offer is just the best possible thing that we can make. And that's all we can do. And we sleep good at night with that. So
awesome. And we appreciate that. Look, we have a super chat, so we'll get into that. And I do want to mention this. Here's the deal, right? You send a super chat, we're going to throw the question up. If you don't, it's okay, but we're going to do a Q&A at the end. If we're showing slides and you ask a question about what we're showing and what we're talking about, we'll address it. But if it's something way off from Mark, we'll do it at the end. But do that super chat, throw that money, we'll show it. Ken Best, what up, man? I appreciate you, dude. $4.99. Mark, are the Elite Operator pistol carbine sets gonna get restocked?
Yes, this is a good topic. I answer messages on this daily. Let me tell you what's happened. This is a great chance to talk about it. Our Elite Operator series was a big deal, right? We had a lot invested in it, and the line is very unique to the third party weapons deal. It's really like trying to make the ultimate weapon in that scale, with the case and everything. About 2 months ago, we kept looking at it and we're like, I don't know if most of you guys are seeing, we've upgraded into some of the best like FDM printers. We're trying to make a case on the FDM side, so that way it's going to be a redesign of the case, all in the same specs, but it'll be a more durable case. It won't be resin. So the case itself will be harder. It'll be more rigid. It'll snap together better. All these things that has kind of bugged us for a long time. So we just decided during this big, we're having this huge wave of upgrades to vehicles, that we thought we'd pull out that whole line, take this time to kind of look on redesign and where we can make it better. And then we're going to be relaunching it into 2025. So that's really the story.
That's awesome.
And they're going to do the same thing with the in the clutch.
Exactly. All those, the clutch was kind of a limited edition. Now I can give you, here's a little bit of we're going to be doing that same model and case. It's going to be done in different colors. The clutch color is going to be retired.
I got paints, brother. I got paint.
We may run one more little batch once we get the new FDM case, but right now it looks like we're going to try to retire that. But I can tell you, we're going to do a nightmare version, which is going to be black, red, and gray for the Viper, for the Viper driver, the Stinger driver.
All right,
that'll
talk about.
So it should be cool.
Seeing a lot. Yeah, seeing a lot of new names in the chat. East Coast Cody, guys, if you're new to the channel, check us out, man. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, like the show. We got Mark Vuncannon from Gridiron. Doesn't do a whole lot of interviews. So we got him on to talk about some cool stuff, some mechs, some APCs. So And yes, it has the foldable stock. KJ answer that. KJ, you want to ask Mark a question? Because I know you've been a little just showing toys tonight. You want to ask Mark anything?
Yeah, man. How you feeling?
How you feeling, brother? I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
Hey, man. We appreciate all the work that you and the boys and Sandy have been doing. You know, I got love for all y'all. It's a bit unfair because we see me and Tony. You know, we talk with you. We got ideas. You let me know about the mech legs, or at least like an idea of like you might want to get some trouble bubbles. I'm like, oh, you know, and you show up with these Robotech Macross legs, man. So I know you got to keep your secrets close to the vest. But look, man, we got Commander Gridiron coming from Operation Monster Force. This is the first time you guys been working with injection molded versions of your toys. Are there other places that you could look at more injection molding? And we talked about this before, plate carriers, a long time ago before doing the recon sets for the Vamp and the Stinger. You guys were planning on doing your own vehicle, and a lot of that R&D sort of went towards these sets instead. When are we going to see action figures? When are we going to see more Gridiron vehicles? I'm not just talking howitzers and additions to Hasbro vehicles. When are we going to see stuff from you guys? When are we going to see some money goes towards tooling in some of that injection molding stuff?
Well, okay, man. There's a lot of questions, KJ.
I know. I've been waiting.
You expect anything less, Marky?
I don't know. Just tell me if I miss any. But I can tell you just right off the bat with the vehicle. Let's just start with that real quick. The vehicle, we're very excited for what's coming in 2025. Now, I can tell you, and let me answer your question at the same time. We have chosen a particular route that, okay, you know, we're definitely, man, our you know, we have great friends over there at Monster Force that are, you know, they just have a great line and a great story, and you know, with Big Bad, those guys are just such a top-notch company. So it's cool to be part of them with this. We're very, you know, honored to be part of that. The thing is, our vehicles, as far as injection molded, I've now seen a couple of the models, not in hand yet, but they look excellent. Like I've already seen some of the Series 2 stuff that's come through. Just some photos that Bill shared with me has been very good. Like I can't tell the difference. And I know some of the more intricate stuff you'll be able to tell, but they're very clean. So their tooling is very good. Now we kind of still view the same thing, like accessory packs and you know, like plate carriers, those kind of things. That's all going to go through. Really, we're sticking with Big Bad and you know, Monster Force and those kind of routes to take those out. With Fresh Monkey, that's all going to kind of happen together. I can tell you that like we'll have some breakout things that we'll do on our own still, but for us, I think that the way they're doing, if anybody's gotten those monster figures, which I saw you have, the actual plate carriers, those can't be beat. I mean, you go around the block. The connection points, the things that we wanted to do, they already did, and they did it better than anybody that's done it so far.
Yeah.
Not to say they're not perfect. I mean, I get that, but if you look at the paint apps, just the paint apps on the weathering and on basically the inking of it is just incredible. Like all the cracks and crevices all have that thing you want. So we're excited to be part of that, and we're going to have access to a lot of that. So that's going to be something coming in 2025. The vehicle, though, coming back to that, if everybody probably feels it by now, we've spent this entire year scaling up, not to have a vehicle injection molded in China, but for us to be able to produce it here in the States. And we still feel like we're the guys close to us understand we've upgraded our capability probably by 180%. I mean,
it shows. Yeah,
we have loaded up on machines, top-notch quality machines, the right materials, and so we feel like we can actually accomplish the vehicle. That's what all these things are. If you look at all these things we're doing with the mechs, with the all the Vamp upgrades and Stinger upgrades, those are all very much so a not a guinea pig, but they're test samples for us.
Yeah, even with
volume and
the drones with the movable dreads. Like, you beat Hasbro to the punch. I would kill to have a scrap iron drone with dreads that moved, and you guys did it. You see what I'm saying? Like, solo. You got to solo this. You got to solo this.
I got you. Guy.
Look
so
at
this
that.
Quaid's gonna kill me, but he's sick, so I'm just gonna show it.
That cost me money, man.
So this little cute guy is going to be part of our we're doing for the Dragonfly. We've decided to hit a ground support, basically a ground support drone support for the Dragonfly.
Yep.
So here's the deal. You have, if you picture this being kind of your main chassis or your main trolley.
Yeah.
This is your cart. And these two will be tethered. So you can add these on as many as you want to make a tram. And there's going to be all kinds of cool stuff added to those, man. We're doing everything from like bench seats for transporting a pilots. I mean, there's a world of things coming.
You're killing the game. You're killing the game.
Exclusive.
So
they could be bringing ammo to the ammo to the Dragonfly, missiles to the Dragonfly, guns to the Dragonfly.
And the cool thing is these little things, they're basically a utility drone. They're complete utility drone. So, even the design, we made it to look like it could either be its own ammo storage,
right,
or it could be a fuel tank, in the way that it's designed.
Fuel.
But it has like a little extra tire kind of setup. You can put a generator in here. They're going to be a cool little kind of utility drone.
Put some Ginnies in there. I can see Clutch and Grunt arguing like, all right, who broke this? Grunt? You always have Grunt on pickup duty on your vote.
And if you guys kind of notice, they're still using all of our uppers. So you can still put these with our weapon systems if you want to use them that way.
The equalizers, the autocannons.
That's right.
But you imagine them making tools like socket wrenches and
that's where our head's at. For the Dragonfly right now, that's where our head's at. Now, most of you guys know we have the M230 upper.
Yeah.
And if you guys that are into your guns and your weapons, you'll know that that's the Apache nose gun. And if you look at it like on KJ's, that's the Apache nose gun just inverted. So if you were to flip that thing around and stick that at the bottom nose, that is the Apache setup. So we designed this a long time ago to be ready for the Dragonfly because we're going to make an adapt turret that's going to be able to pop in on the nose of the Dragonfly.
Yeah, that's what their helmet controls.
Exactly, and of course we'll have a helmet that comes with it. Yeah, it's just sweet gun, and it looks cool this way. This is a very practical use in the military today, but that same gun inverted inside its own turret base is that main Apache gun. Now, I understand the Dragonfly isn't the Apache, but that's a side note. GIJoe can use it.
Here we Cobra.
Yeah.
So that's the exciting part about the Dragonfly. I don't know if I jumped the gun on that or.
Awesome. Yeah, you know what? We jumped the shark big time, and I love it because you gave us an exclusive. Guys, we have 100 people watching. Right, 100.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for sharing your evening.
Thanks
with us
for hanging out.
Hit that like button. Yes, sir.
It's a big day. It's a crazy day, and you guys are hanging out with us. That means the world to us. So really,
Scrap Iron agrees.
Yeah, he does. We got stuff to show. We're here with Mark Vuncannon from Gridiron. We have over 100. If you like the show, of course you like it. Like it. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. If you're here, you want to ask questions for Mark, leave a super chat. If not, we'll do a Q&A at the end. If we're talking about a topic on the screen, feel free to ask. We'll pop it up if we can. Look, we were talking about the Dragonfly. I want to give a shout out to, she was just here earlier, Leanne. Great shot of Wild Bill in the background. Awesome, and I know she's a Gridiron fan, Leanne Hobbs, and she's showing your stuff off. in the past. But yeah, I wanted to give a shout. These are hitting the UK now, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll get our grubby paws on them as well.
Dude, she's
Here's some
amazing,
lighting.
amazing on her setups.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she's awesome. Here's another shot right here. This is Mark Sedon. This is via the Full Force. So shout out to Chris, Diagnostic 80. So the funny part is he's not in the pilot position, so that got a lot of flack.
He's right, right.
He's in the gun, but on the original box, he's in the front. You know, because it's GIJoe and nothing makes sense back in the 80s. And then Matt Ogle does
Airborne wanted to drive.
Yep. Matt Ogle is doing the rest of these photos here. Is to look at the box and a look at the Biggs Baldy. You excited? Are you finally going to get back into the content creator realm and give us a review of the Dragonfly or what?
Absolutely. And listen, I'm going to put this out there to anybody watching right now. If you don't want your Glenda for some reason, I'm going to put together Glenda Force. So reach out to me. I would love to take your Glendas. It will really help with my project. So please reach out to me. You can message me over Instagram.
I like that. I like Glenda Force.
Yeah.
I see it as an acronym. Like
Glenda.
Well, I thought about saying Karen Force, but that wouldn't be really fair.
And check it out. Gridiron has 2 Instagrams. It's at gridiron was it props, right? And then gridiron_studio, right? Is that out? Or is that
dot when studio? They tried to shut him down because he thought he was selling real guns.
Yeah.
That's how realistic they look.
Yeah.
There you go. They really helped us out. Whoever, we had some competitor that was doing something with that, and we they ended up helping us out because we started another one right after, and then we got the other one.
Cool.
So what do you think about the
Hasbro? Sorry. Just follow the gridiron_studio and then follow gridiron.studios. Thank you, Genghis, for that. And now you can ask your question. There you go, KJ.
The trench swiper, dude. Hasbro, their Cobra modular fortification looks awfully familiar, man. What say you about
it?
Like what the fuck is up with that, bro?
Dude, don't even get me started, man.
Oh, dude.
It's
I got love for this whole team and everything they do, but it's like you figured that shit out
a while back,
a long time ago.
Yeah,
Let's move on because I think this is a smart subject. Let's move on.
It is what it is. Hey man, here's the deal. We'll just make the same commitment we made to everybody 3.5, almost 4 years ago. Is we're not going to chase anybody. We're just going to make what we think is cool, and we're going to make it as fast as we can make it, and make it the best we can. So
okay, and I do apologize if that was a sore subject. I know we joke around.
No, as far as I'm concerned, man, we're already in and out of that market. So
I mean, all right, man, I'll keep it real because everything from like the spotlight, the satellite dish, like it's I trust you. Already have things on the next horizon. You've been taking classified to the next level for years. It's only fitting that it took them this long to catch up to your vision. Say again, Tony.
They're 5 steps behind from you, brother. They're 5-10 steps behind. Come on now.
We're just gonna still move forward and make cool stuff. So
am I. I mean, there's I'm telling you.
It's a great compliment, Mark, because if you think about it, you're making something that the fans want, and you're showing that there's a market there, and that the market's been there rather than the Hasbro corporate guys sitting around a table that don't actually collect, that don't actually, display or play with the toys. You're making it for the fans. And now they're catching on. So it's kind of, they're seeing what you're doing and they're seeing that there's a market there. So, I mean, there could be some sour grapes in the back, but you make some wine with it. You know what I mean?
And here, we call it as it is, as we see it, we've always done that. So, I just commend you and your family for making production caliber goods as you've been doing this entire time. And that's why I'm being pesky about vehicles. Yes. Everything from plate characters to I want you guys to have your own factory. And like it doesn't have to be in China; it could be in Arizona.
No, we're building it now here, so it's exactly what's going on. I'll leave you with this on the reuse of some of these things. I find it flattering. I'll say that after 4 years of doing nothing but helping to boost classified sales over and over and over again, all we've needed from them is just a thank you, just a shout out to Gridiron like that. They can't seem to even mention that in public. That's where I have an issue. If you're going to take what we already designed and try to make it again, I get that whole thing, but you should still say, hey, this is a cool thing that was inspired by them, or at least shout out.
Fucking love Hasbro.
But you know what?
Just a love. That's it.
You know what, Mark? It's that's being the hands tied with Hasbro, because you know that the classified team is a huge fan of your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So like they're people just like we are, but then their hands are tied. I'm not making
fans
for Hasbro, but I'm just saying when you're in that corporate structure, that's where you're in a great position because you're family owned.
That's right, Woody.
Your own thing.
Woody has it right here. You're never gonna get a thank you from a fucking $1 billion conglomerate.
No.
Not even if you're John Warden.
We understand that. There's one thing. There's a little caveat to that. Is that as a person, as a designer, their designers can shout us out plenty. They do it for other people. That's not an issue. For some reason, that becomes an issue to them in their own job confidence as to how they can design and what they can design. So when we design these things, they don't want to show anybody that they're showing us love because of that. That's where I have a problem. All they got to do is say, man, those are some great designs over at Gridiron.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, you know what?
I'm not asking for Hasbro to make a public statement.
Yeah.
I'm asking for the designers of these things that they're replicating to go, hey, man, Gridiron's doing some cool stuff. That's it.
There we go.
For joy, man.
All right, cool.
See what you did, Mark? See what you did? Moody's on a warpath, brother.
His screen's starting to vibrate and stuff.
Hey,
it's been a day.
It's been a day. Hey, APC, you went green. How's that going? And what is your preference, Mark? I'll go to the panel for that too, but what's your preference on the Stinger or Vamp APC? And then how the sales for this? Talk to us about the GIJoe green version of this.
Oh, both these, man. I mean, dude, I don't think we can be any more grateful. Like the support for these things have been off the freaking charts, man. I mean, right off the get-go, without people even knowing what to expect. That's what I thought was special, was that there was so much excitement around it without anybody even having it yet. So it was cool that they trusted us to do this right, and we just did everything we could to make sure that happened. And so it's a very durable toy, which what made it kind of fun is that we were kind of making something that really added on, and made that vehicle, that iconic vehicle, just something else. I've said it before. It kind of reminds me, like when you're looking at like a military motor pool, like look at Hummers, for example. Like you'll see, 50 different versions of a Hummer, long bed, short bed, different kind of equipment and weapon systems. And, there'll be a surveillance one. There'll be, so this whole concept was about that. Like we're used to seeing that Vamp front end. Now it feels like a Vamp, armored personnel carrier. Has a little, cargo space and equipment.
Cool.
Beautiful.
We have a super chat, and then I'll go to the panel. Woody, thank you. Nice to see you, by the way. $9.99. Appreciate that. Any plans? We'll talk about the mechs later, but since he gave a super chat, any plans for the tan mech legs, Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna. I'll drop it here. We're doing a full desert week, probably right in the first little bit of January. Probably in the first.
Be careful for Woody. Woody's a big old army builder.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of desert guys. I'm a huge desert fan. Obviously.
Okay. Okay, I gotta show this. I gotta show this off. This is what I got planned, Mark. So I got a second Vamp. From Big Bad Toy Store. I got my rattle cans, Tamiya spray, and I got this. Hopefully, it's a good match because I'm making my Vamp Mark II. I got decals from Bad Mother Tattoos. He made me a custom set. It's happening. So I'm gonna holler at you because the only reason I'm doing this so I can put your desert autocannons and equalizers and heavy weapons trailers and everything else on that Vamp. So I'm gonna holler at you for Desert Week.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on. Yeah, the desert stuff is really fun for us. I mean, I'm a huge, I love any of that kind of desert drab, any of that stuff.
Arizona, baby.
So I've been holding off. I've been telling Quaid, I've been like, hey, are we going to do desert on this? And then we finally kind of looked at each other and we're like, let's just save it all for a desert week, man. Let's try to blow out a big desert week and do some cool variations for that. So that's the idea. And obviously the Mark II is going to be a great lead into that as well,
Well, by the way, I want to holler, hey, Moody. Charlotte was kind enough to bless us with another super chat. I just wanted to.
Charlotte has blessed us.
Yeah, we got you. I got you. Did that Parker Hale M85 make the list yet?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's on there for sure.
That's awesome.
It's on there for sure. It's
probably on Johnny's list already.
Yeah, he's got. I don't even look at that thing anymore. It was so big. It was just obnoxious. No, he's such a good man. He's a very good. I kind of use him as a secondary weapons advisor. He's very, very good. And not only is he a weapons instructor, but he knows his guns very, very thoroughly. So, we kind of pride ourselves in making sure we research a weapon and then we make it an action figure gun. So it evolves from being a real weapon first. And
I believe this is the one you gave to Commander Gridiron, right?
Yes. I had to. Yeah, they asked me what I wanted to put in his hands, and I was like, man, that's the big dog right there.
Ooh,
dude. OG, yeah.
Dude, that one's awesome.
Mark, I love you, dude. I love everything.
Love you
guys
too,
fellow Tonys. This is Delta 17 Rooster 6-inch version using the Master Key. So this Master Key is pretty dope, man. And this is from Predator, right?
No, that's just Master Key. Like you're talking for Tony. Gotcha.
No.
It's a Master Key, but it's not. It's updated. It's updated.
Yeah. We have Billy's.
Billy's.
That's a separate one. It's a hard one, man, because that no one realizes. Tony and I had this talk once. Nobody realizes how big those weapons were. Like when you're holding an M16 full standard M16 with a Mossberg, 12 gauge modified underneath the barrel, it's like that's a huge weapon. It's not like what you think. Like the Master Key is designed to be more compact.
And we appreciate the detail. Like you can even see the round in the mag. There are other third-party companies that should go unnamed. Their mags look atrocious. They look like Nerf weapons. But these are fantastic. They're a nice profile. You slide them in. This one's double taped right here. It's like when I see people and they're collecting from other companies and the value packs that you get sometimes, they're that cheap for a reason. Because they don't look realistic. They don't look like. And there's Tony right there with Spirit and Billy.
That's a cool matchup with Spirit. I think that has a little vibe.
Oh yeah. But
you can see that gun's a big gun, and we scale these things. We don't. It's hard to people. I don't think people get this element of Gridiron either. Like. For us, it's all about having the weapon fit in the hands of an action figure. Yeah. So if a weapon is legitimately a real life weapon, we can make that gun completely real life, and that's what we do. But then Quaid will go through and we'll kind of we'll have a couple meetings on how he'll do some test samples for me to pose and shoot some photography, and I'll give him the feedback on, hey, that stock just doesn't fit under that arm. The way that action figures kind of, with that wing, it doesn't work very good. So, we have to kind of either compensate by pulling that stock in a little bit, beefing up the handles a little bit. You know, it's known GIJoe has some pretty big mitts, right? So if you do a really small handle, it always looks a little funny. So our guns have they're really conformed to it, you know?
Yeah. All right, let me go to a quick super because more super chats came in because I cried for them and now people want to pay. Hey, it works. That's the thing. I don't ask. No one knows about it. All right, look.
Part of this. What's going on here?
No, I'm just kidding. So we need a mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle.
So you're gonna like what we're coming out with.
Ooh. All right. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that. I think we got another one too.
The MRAP would be insane.
Toyomic,
like
what's up, man? Here. Mark.
Right on.
Will new things roll out in single releases or drop as full kits? I want to get a hold on, but I don't want to miss. You make great stuff.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
I want to hold off to get it all, but I don't want to miss out.
Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just showing off. I love this javelin set here. And here's the thing right here. Plugs in right here.
So all day.
Hey, I just want to throw out there a little shout out. I'm telling you right now, if you guys haven't gone to, his diorama setups are crazy good, by the way. His displays, man, are just outstanding. So I'd go check them out. Tomic, yeah, they're crazy stuff.
Part of the Action Figure Alliance. Mark,
yeah, he's legit. I mean, when you look at some of the displays, they're some of the best I've seen. He does a really good job, like putting all that together, you know, on a big scale.
Me, Travis, and Tony, we did intros for them. I'm sure they would love just a 5-second intro from you, dude. I think they would love that a lot.
For what?
like a little intro. You know, you used to act back in the day, man. You're good on camera. You know.
What I gotta say? What am I?
This is that you're part of the alliance.
I've joined the Action Figure Alliance.
Dude, I'm all about the Action Figure Alliance.
Yeah.
Show them some love, man.
I have been to that room you have in your house. Yes, you are.
All right. Toyomic, you have our full. You can take that video right there. He just said it. Just clip us out, and use Mark as part of your.
The caps come off, man. Like,
all right,
yeah.
Let's circle back to this topic so we can kind of move on. Just wanted to show off more of the green APC.
Yeah,
and
the green one, man. So a little insight on the green. When we went, the green one was probably in my head way before the black, Stinger version. So
right.
The whole idea, and when you kind of look at it, was to really make a self-propelled 6-wheeled vehicle, really kind of, reminiscent of some old retro, some of those old vehicles, man, that we just loved. All those old, post-Vietnam 80s, so this is really what this was all shooting after. Not to mention, if you're a World War II buff and you really like the Hannah Mag personnel carrier for the Germans used, it's that model as well. So there's some cool stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Now, how long did it take you? Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
no, are you following up on the green APC?
Yeah, because I'm just curious.
Go ahead.
How long has it been from concept, just the idea? Hey, you know what we should do to finally getting it out to people's hands? Travis doing the review, and everyone else.
Yeah, this was probably, it's hard to say in the sense that like vehicles. We've been at this vehicle thing for a long time, so there was little bits like doing the wheels first, right? Okay. We were really kind of utilizing a wheel that we had already designed for the buggy, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
this was very similar to that, and so we made a few changes. But when we realized that this is kind of the way to go, and we were bumping into an additional axle, I would say 6 months probably.
Okay, that's lightning fast, man. This stuff usually
years. We can move really fast. Once if we have to really hustle, we can get something out faster. But we like to make sure it's right.
And the homie Toyomic Trey, he was asking, will new things roll out in single releases, or will they drop as full kits? We all want to get a hold of that, So
yeah,
you make great stuff. Yeah.
So the nice part is, we're right in the middle of these. We're right in the middle of this bubble, flight pod mech, right? So there's basically three. I think there's 3 or 4 phases in there for that.
Oh yeah.
Now a lot of people ask, why don't you just do it as one? And I don't want to be getting separate pieces and all that stuff. And I think they understand once I tell them the reason. But it's for us, we're part of kind of a customizing community. So a majority of our customizers, they don't necessarily have to have everything, So to do like the legs first, there might be so it's going to probably end up having next week with Quid being out, but we have what's obviously going to be the next layer or the next level of the mech, which is going to be the upper body part. So the legs, but somebody might not want to ever do that. So we want to not have to force anybody to do anything. Now, that doesn't make the price any different to us. That was another question we've had in the past. Like, if we are separating these pieces out, is it just to make more money alone? And it really has nothing to do with that, because it's the same cost for us regardless. We're not making 20,000 of something. So
why not?
Yeah. So what we try to do is try to make in our number set be able to at least give people the ability to pick and choose. Now, and then you saw what we did with the Recon set, where we made it skinny so that we can get kind of a manageable price, and so that somebody wanted all the essentials, they got kind of a discount on that. It was missing some of the little fun stuff that if you were real dedicated to it, you'd want, but that's the idea there.
Yeah. So I want to ask the guys, going by KJ, it looks like, do you prefer the green APC or the Stinger APC, KJ?
Who, for me or Mark?
I'm asking the panel, so I'm asking you, KJ. Do you prefer
I like them both,
the green?
man. I like what Mark did with the green. I don't have any of the ground pounders, but I have, once again, the Vamp right here. So this is like my pride and joy. And I got all the Joes blasting like crazy. You see Snake Eyes here, man. Awesome. He's not messing around. Right? I got both elite operator cases on the side here. I didn't get the Cyclops. I did get a Mark II door elsewhere, but my Stinger is all Gridiron, and they only use the Gridiron goods, man. So once again, you can put Mezco blast effects in here. So for example, bear with me, I have a Snake Eyes. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. I cannot break anything else. I've broken so much Gridiron stuff over the last few days. Here is a Mezco blast effect, and I can put this Mezco blast effect in the door gunner right here. So it goes in just like that. I'm making crazy eyes like Woody said there. You see that? See that shit? So you can play and you can add things and you can do all sorts of stuff. Or you can do, if you're like me, you can break as many Gridiron things as possible and then just get some more.
Spread them like
all right, Baldy, black or green for the APC?
I was waiting for
the question.
I was waiting for the green. So when we talked early on, with the black that was coming, and Toy Kind of Mood got a chance to review it first, I was like, dude, this is awesome, but Cobra's already got enough firepower. They have a lot. Yeah. I want the green. Mark, when did this drop, the green?
We did a whole week of it. It was kind of like we just wanted to get the green and the black to be evened up before we released the final phase, which was that roof section.
Yeah, so I'm not going to pretend that I'm a number1 fanboy. But I was traveling a lot for work, so I must have missed the drop. And this is fantastic.
Thank you.
I knew that you guys were probably going to get to the green at some point. So congratulations. This looks sexy as F. And I really like this one. So I'll probably take advantage of that 10% coupon and order one.
That's a good one to take advantage of it on for sure.
Yeah, well, we'll remind people. ATKM 10 at gridironprops.com. ATKM 10. Put it in the comments, right? In the comments, 10% off.
I was showing off.
There's a little section in there. On our when you go to buy, there'll be a little thing to put in that
KJ,
code.
before you ask your question, let me ask Mark real quick. Mark, since you made this in black and you also made this in green, I'm not sure if you have any insight into Mars Industries, but why do Cobra and GIJoe use the same manufacturer for some of their weapons?
Selling to both sides has always been a
You know, you got to get double use, man. You know, they're
Got to double dip. You got to double dip,
man. I think I'll kind of go. I think one of my favorite weapons dealers was what was his name on Iron Man?
Hammer.
Yeah, Justin Hammer.
Hammer.
That was nice, man. He was a good guy.
It's smart.
Obadiah Stane. Yeah.
Well, I think you know what, man. We're with Monster Force. You know, it's going to be fun because I feel like for the first time we're actually part of the story. Mm-hmm. So and it'll be revealed kind of how that comes about, which I think is going to be awesome. I've seen a little teaser on that, so it's cool to see how there could be a faction generated just from the weapon supply. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I want to shout out Generals Joe's and my dude Justin Bell for some of these shots. I got mine coming in a few days. I'm going to do a ranking video of all the Monster Force in one video. So we're ranking the entire wave. So check it. These are some awesome shots right here. Beautiful. Great job, Justin. Appreciate that. And the reason I'm throwing this up is because Monster Force is doing merch. On our last interview we had with Bill at Fresh Monkey, I said, man, you got to get some merch because, Gridiron has merch. And now he's got 3 shirts. Mark, I see you got one on that Tony has on, but I don't have it. I mean, I got this one. Thank you. I got it from Comic-Con. I appreciate it. But hey, what's up? You got more shirts? You got more merch? What's going on?
That was our new shirt also. Like it has a new sleeve on that one you have. It has this on it.
Yeah.
Got
you.
Yeah, look at the
Travis. Yeah. Travis.
You got the new sleeve instead of the old one.
I got you. Where am I? Yeah,
I gave you
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt.
Yeah, role model.
So sexy it hurts.
But you do have more merch coming though. That's the question. You got more shirts, more hoodies. You got hoodies, hats. What's up?
Yeah, we want to get some hoodies this winter. Yep.
I need a gridiron mug so I can drink some hot cocoa with marshmallows.
I need a gridiron hat for my bald ass head.
Oh, dude, a gridiron hat? I rock the shit out of that.
Oh yeah.
And I guess I'll address the elephant in the room. I've got a Batman shirt on. Mark, does the 10% work towards any of the t-shirts?
It works.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Across the whole site.
Okay, across the whole site. So guys, you can see that I don't have any gridiron stuff on because I'm not an ass kisser, but now we can get some. So I don't have any, and anybody else who wants some, we can go to the site tonight. Thanks.
Yeah, serious question. Figure Fight Club needs gridiron underwear.
Need some gridiron chonies?
Maybe. I haven't really gone that way, but yeah. There you go.
Mark, have you thought about Mark, have you thought about doing any like off the wall things for your site that somebody so you can see you have a lot of fans here. You have fans with us, you have fans here in the chat. Have you thought about offering something one-off so that like maybe a spouse or somebody else, knowing that somebody likes gridiron, you can kind of give them something unique for the holiday season?
Yeah, so we usually we'll run. Well, I mean, the best way for any, especially like spouses and significant others, is we do our gift card through the holidays. That's usually the best way for those guys because it's hard to pick that. Now that being said, though, we have plans in December. Our Gridmas, and I'll drop that here. Our Gridmas is going to look completely different this year. So. And I think in a really good way. And I'm going to hint. Let's just say it's going to be a blue Christmas.
Uh-oh.
Hey Mark, just real quick to go with Woody's question here. Have you ever thought about doing gridiron after dark? Like maybe offering, if you saw Austin Powers where the Fen robots have the tassels, have you thought about doing something like that?
Man, we haven't that yeah, we'll add it to the list.
All
But
right.
we haven't thought about
The
that.
next,
Yeah,
thing, the next thing they're gonna ask you is
Balding
like,
man,
Dustin
I don't know where
Dawn
you're coming up with
with
this
a
stuff,
gun
but man,
bust
that's
out.
great.
I mean,
all
that's
fair.
funny. That's a funny one.
Gridiron
I don't
Studios
think
Mark-
they heard me.
Movie Masters.
All right.
That's great.
I'll tell you what. Guys. We're way past where we're
Movie
supposed to be.
mascot.
So what we'll do is because there's a lot of questions I want to get to people. Let's fly through the phases. A lot of people, if they're watching the show, they know about the phases already, right? But let's just kind of fly through them and just get Mark's comments on each one. So we got the dozer, barricade, brush guard, the shielded 50 cal. So talk to us about the second phase. Obviously, the first one was the APC, but the barricade and the shield heavy and everything.
So this was just such a big piece. I don't think people understand until they get it in their hands.
Yeah.
It's a big piece. And so this whole piece is paying homage to it's kind of a funny thing. It's paying homage to our first wall fort we did out of foam. If you remember that there was some controversy about a foam
I
wall.
know.
I don't even remember.
This
What?
Nobody
Really?
was talking about it.
No
so
way.
This
You know
wall,
what this is? You know what this
that
is?
is. So this is basically the plastic version, and for us, it's like this was just a really cool way to do that wall and set up a gun system on it and have it modular, and yet still have it be a working function on the vehicle. So we kind of picture these things rolling up. Picture 10 of these trucks rolling up and dropping these dozer blades. As kind of clearing the roads and then dropping the dozer blades as kind of a trench wall.
Right.
And then you have a gun mount on there, so you can pop off yours and put it on there, or get a different gun and stick it on there.
About
Yeah,
10,
green.
11
Has
inches
our gun
across.
port. The what?
What are the dimensions? Is about 10 or 11 inches.
It's the width of the outside of the wheels. So I don't know exactly what
Right.
that is offhand, but it's the outside of
Yeah,
the
that's
wheels.
pretty
Right there
hefty.
in the thick.
Pretty hefty.
And so we wanted to go the full width of the wheels. We understand if people didn't get our wheels, but you really probably should get our wheels. Those wheels really make that vehicle better.
Get the goddamn wheels.
100% get the wheels.
Yeah, I think if you're, in fact, I'll leave it on that point, is that if you're ever looking at any of these upgrades for the Vamp that we sell, the wheels, that's the biggest change, I think, dynamically on your shelf that you'll feel. Like, you'll feel the wheels.
You'll feel the wheels, but they ain't gonna come painted like mine's is.
Yeah, you always have to do it special.
I painted them, baby.
This is why I don't do nothing around Tony, because it's like I just can't compete.
I painted them letters green. Come on now.
And there's just a look at the green howitzer.
So the howitzer, basically that howitzer part is just such a good. It's a great thing to have in the arsenal, because it's our first time using the howitzer with the upper mounting point. So now you can throw that on any of your drones. And I'm not going to say the future isn't going to have more fortification units that thing could latch onto. If you kind of picture the front gun of the headquarters.
Ooh.
Got it. This was a question from earlier. I'll pull it up now, though. Any plans for a medic Vamp attachment, since we're showing Vamps?
Yeah, I think I don't want to drop it too early, but like one of the upgrades on our list is I'm not gonna say anything about that. Go ahead. Pass. Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Nice. I love it.
Knows I needed that. I'm a freaking EMT.
Oh yeah.
And then, we were already talking about this, and I probably forgot to ask. I mean, is there anything you can share about Operation Monster Force and Fresh Monkey? Anything in the works?
Nothing that we haven't already talked about, but it's all it's just really, I mean, now that these figures have dropped, it's just really exciting. There's a lot of cool stuff, and Bill's a very creative guy. He has a very unique approach to these lines. If you look at any of his past lines, you can kind of see it with all the Eagle Force stuff. He takes a really good look at this, and he's so character and story driven. So it's something we did for a long time. You know, there's been a lot of like guys. There's been a lot of companies, or maybe one company that really wants to make another GI Joe universe.
Yeah,
but it's hard for us because we know those characters so well. So if you try to interject a bunch of new characters in the same world that's doing the same thing, we kind of get a rejection point. Now, on Monster Force, it feels like another world, and it still can be used in your GI Joe classified world. So it's got this really cool special thing going on, you know.
Yeah, and then he wants a rubberized tire. Orly 40.
I totally get it. Now, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, if you go outside and feel your tire, it doesn't feel like rubber. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
You know, if you want a toy that you can squeeze like a squeezy doll, that's not a real rubber tire. So to me, we feel our sturdy tires are more realistic to what a real tire feels like. So I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay, cool. And then we'll move on to the next phase. Is the Cyclops.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
I'll set this one up to Quaid all day long, man. I threw out some of the initial designs as I just wanted to have an opening door that kind of was a ramp, and he went to town on this thing, man. Holy crap, dude. The gun system on this alone, if you get this in your hand, you start to realize like those miniguns are like, it feels like the whole contraption is built into the door. You even put a window so you can see the ammo belt. So it feels like it's a working contraption, and it spins obviously, but that was also we didn't really mention too much. That was a new barrel for us. So we had never even come out with that barrel before.
Right.
So it was a really slick. He had done these cool like air vents, and it was just a cool mini. But I think the part that people, I saw a few comments that were like, "Oh, it's going to blow the front tires off." I'm telling you right now, if you understand Gridiron at all, we don't let any of that pass. So we won't put something out if it doesn't look like it was could be used in war or in a battle in a practical sense. So if you ever have a doubt that those things are not going to hit, I guarantee you right now, barrel in the design, that line of sight for that barrel is straight over the top of that tire.
Yep.
Right. It's not going to hit that tire at all. Not to mention it folds out.
Yeah, that's where they really arm it and shoot it when it folds out. Yeah.
Yeah. They're obviously could be used in the up position because it shoots right over the top of the tire. But in the folded down position, you get this kind of mask feel, right?
Yes, sir. I knew that's where you're going for. I know that's what you're going for.
Totally. Well, it feels very heavy duty, right? It has this kind of. It feels,
man, I got to put heavy duty on one of these.
You get those doors, man, and they feel like they're an armored door. They have a really cool. That was one of my requirements for him. Like when he was looking at his design, I was like, just make the thing bulky. I want to feel like it's widening the width of the vehicle, kind of like if you're looking at like an armored car, or like for the bank and all that. They always feel a little wider, like they're matching the tire width. So that was what we wanted to do.
And the design is just top notch. You see like where the the grid paneling is slanted for the door to rest upon it so it can handle all that weight. Like you guys really thought of everything.
And really a lot of this is Quaid, man. He just really dug in, and he just made a very functioning door. And to have the upper part of the door go into the gull form, right, where it kind of comes into that upper and stay there. Like that takes some logistics. Like, most of these things just fall down or aren't tight enough. He's very specific on his like compression fit stuff.
Like the value is there, the quality is there. I gotta open it up to the rest of the panel because I can talk about how mind blowing this stuff is all night.
We love you, AJ, man.
You guys do what Marvel Studios do. You do what Ryan Meerding and like all those other guys do. This stuff is cinema. Like I think it was Woody. Who said it was cinematics?
He said Operation Monster Force was cinematic.
Oh, Prophet 924 said it was. Well, yours is just as cinematic and like
yes, sir.
Stuff. Like I've had this loadout on for weeks, and I just like just looking at it. It's just like
that's what it's there for.
Like it's a pet or something. Like, oh, are you just the cutest thing?
All right, so look, we're gonna show the 4 phases, and then we'll do some cleanup, and then we'll move on to some weapons, and then the mechs. Okay, so this is the phase 4. It's the command turret, deluxe roof pack. So if you want to talk about that, Mark, real quick.
This was kind of a little point of contention between Quaid and I. Well, I think that's what makes Gridiron a little different. Is they have with us having like 2 designers that are coming from 2 different places, right? He's very, he's a younger guy, he's in his 30s, but he kind of sees things from the younger perspective. I'm an old dude, man. It's all very retro to me. So when we sit down to really hash out designs, it all comes down to like, I'll tell him like, hey man, we really need this to look like this. And then he'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. So then I'll go back and I'll be like, okay, no, I'll have to show him some like obscure photograph from Vietnam or something,
Yeah, that's the Call of Duty in Quaid.
Yeah, it's that younger view of like everything kind of looks different, And I was trying to explain to him like with this one, if we have an offset, like he was having a hard time understanding why we would offset that hole, right?
Oh,
to the passenger versus like just a turret hole or just putting a thing on top.
Well Quaid, like, the other guy's got to drive.
Well, but it was like he wasn't even caring about a hole at all. He was like, just and I was like, no, man, this needs to have kind of that, where we have a cool like portal and
Good job, Mark. Tell that boy.
Well, and it's the offset. Like, so I tried to explain it to him on my design elements, like from my past experience, is I'm always looking for things that are off balance. Like that's very important to me. So offset guns, offset things that don't look fully balanced.
I get it. Yep.
And this was something that was that, not to mention the self-propelled gun could come over the top of his shoulder, but it gave a purpose to that hatch, and the passenger could be a command, commander. And then that gun, we obviously wanted to do a turret where the gun actually went up and down. That was pretty basic.
Hey, Mark, I got a question for you. So when you're talking about your view as old school and his view as new school, have you found what your true demographic is when you're selling this stuff? And then on top of that, are you basing some of your designs not just on the Vietnam era, but on the G.I. Joe era, where not everything needed to make sense?
How do I answer yes to all those questions? It's funny. To hit it, kind of to say it right, would be just look at the turret on top of that roof, right? So that turret is basically that's modeled. That shape is modeled right after an M48 Patton tank. The gun is a G3 version of the old MG42. So the gun barrel is retro, but it's
like a mashup of styles, basically. Is what you guys are doing.
And then you have a drone eye, right? So you have this autonomous eye controller. So, and then there's this kind of hard edge to the turret. So you could see where it's the retro's there. But man, for like guys like me that are really like to pull from that Vietnam era or the 80s era, that gun turret is the M48 tank. So the Marines use that turret for a long time. So, as a command turret on top of a main gun turret. So, and that's been used in several different vehicles, but that's the purpose of it, is we wanted to have that kind of turret. And then we also included, we call it the toilet seat, but if somebody didn't want to use the turret gun, they could pop that off and slip in this other turret hatch. So if you don't want a gun up there at all, you just want to have a hatch, you could just throw in a hatch. So basically the toilet ring.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. We got a couple more super chats because I cried earlier. Now everybody wants to give me money, so it must be nice. Let's
can I read this one?
Good job, Travis.
Yes, please. Please do it.
I'll read it only because guys, I grew up with a ton of women in my family, so I'm a huge fan of women. The Lady Cobra Troopers, the Valkyrie Scouts, and soon-to-be Claw Pilots need some gridiron hats and helmets. They've started to complain up the chain of command about lack of equipment. Listen, women don't complain, all right? They have a voice. They have boss power, okay? So go ahead, Mark. Can you address that?
No, I think that's a great question. We have needed now, and I would say, we've been at this since the very beginning. I mean, almost at the conception of the classified line, we were in there. So, in the beginning, what we had, Lady J, so there really wasn't a purpose for us to come out with equipment designed specifically for her. And
Right.
Scarlet's hair was just hard to deal with, like as far as a hat or a helmet. So it's been it's a kind of a tough thing. You either have to figure out a head that's going to be a replacement, or you have to figure out some kind of gear that works around their stuff. So we're finally now, I think, having a big enough arsenal of female characters that we definitely want to do something. And I know it sounds like a cop out, but I think it's more, it's a little more difficult than people think. It's not like, we're not worried about like, oh, we're not going to sell so many, or that doesn't matter to us. If it's cool, it's cool. We want to put it out. But I think it just becomes tricky. Even with the guys, if whenever there's hair on any of these figures' heads, you have to take all that in consideration. If you guys know our helmets at all, they're very fitted and they look very realistic. So it's like you have to really kind of take all that in consideration and hope that you can fit several figures enough. And so with the girls, now we're finally got a pretty good arsenal of female characters. So I would say in 2025, we'll definitely make a push for sure.
Now, will we see any breast guns that we were talking about earlier?
How disrespectful.
Exactly. Yeah. None of that. All right. Hey, I'm going to segue to a couple hat things. There was a question earlier, actually, to me. Am I wearing Cutter's hat? Always,
Yes, you
man.
are.
Red Sox. But the Dodgers won the World Series, so I was sporting LA, and I was like, I better wear Red Sox or someone's going to accuse me of being a poser, which I already am, so it doesn't matter. But look, there's also, we got this. We got helmets, man. Let's talk about your new vehicle command helmets that you got out there. I know that some people were commenting on them. You got the gray and the green. Mark, just something real quick about these helmets.
Yeah, totally. This is an easy one. Like when I was putting together that top turret, with Quaid, the big thing that stood out to me is that guy that's sticking his head out there needs a specific kind of helmet. And we had been doing the Televiper helmet for a long time, our telecom helmet.
Oh yeah.
So that telecoms helmet really has all the makings of kind of a command helmet. It has like the two mics coming down. So there's a secondary and a primary communications. There's the antennas, and then you got these visor, with those extra panels. So it just felt like the perfect helmet to use. And then we thought, okay, well, let's make it special. We'll do a hand paint job on a couple of those panels. And it turned out really nice, man. It looked very detailed. And then you can see it like on that Monster Force figure. I did a little little cut up of that figure on their Delta Red figure. And the color match was just cool. And the OD was cool. And so it really had it was inspired, had definitely a throwback to the old like Slugger Thunder kind of feel. And because if you remember, he'd have a bunch of like goggles, like visors and headgear that all went together. And that was kind of the idea.
Awesome. We got a super chat real quick. Mark, Sandy, and your customer service is top notch. Thank you for the replacements lost at USPS from deep waters.
Oh,
Cool, man. I'll tell Sandy. She'll appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deep Waters. Thank you guys all, man, for putting up with me. All right. So we got some guns to talk about. You got a couple deals, a couple quick things on guns, and then we'll get into the mechs.
Yeah.
It's a spooktacular deal. You had the AA-12 finally.
shotgun.
So I can tell you, I know a lot of people love this gun. Like there's a big following for it. We resisted this thing forever. It's so there's just no detail to it, right? So on a design level, it almost doesn't give you anything, But we had done it for a freebie a couple months back. It's been several months now, I think. And Quaid designed it as a kind of fixed mag, like a stick mag instead of a drum. You know, a lot of people are used to the drum version. And we thought as a freebie, we'll just do a stick version, which is something different than what most people are seeing. And he put some cool details in it. But we thought, man, you know what? Halloween's a perfect time. This thing throws back to Predator, to, you know, the second, what was that, third Predator?
This one? Oh, yeah. And Expendables, right?
Expendables, yeah, I've seen a lot. So, yeah, it has a theatrical thing that kind of fit with Halloween for us. So we did that. And we wanted to give some really good deals through that weekend, give people a break on some of this stuff. And that was one. And then the second one, I don't know if you're going to show. Yeah, this one. This was
G3, baby.
Yeah, this G3 was very sought after when we did it as a freebie. And I kept telling everybody I'd get to it and we'd do it. And finally I was like, you know what, let's just get this out and we'll make it cheap so that way they can enjoy it and get a bunch of them to kind of suit up their squad. And it's a great gun. Great design.
Yeah, it's freaking fire. Yeah, and I love that now you're using Fresh Monkey Fiction figures, Operation Monster Force, of course, because you're a part of that. But it's nice to start now that the wave's out, you're displaying your guns with them and not just like, you know, Stalker and Duke over and over again. So yeah, it's fun to see a variety of figures that you're displaying your Gizats with. So
I'll tell you right now, if you want to know a comparison, a real quick one that will give you an idea of what you're getting into when you get into Monster Force. You guys have gotten the figures, you probably already noticed this, but I'll tell you, man, the hand articulation, the wrist articulation on those figures is unmatched. Like
you could see it. You could see it right on the screen.
Yeah, I literally take pretty much photographs of toys daily, and action figures are always. If you look at Stalker, we know how bad those hands are. You know, they were very small and they're not articulated very well. And you see how he holds it. You know, you try to get him to a cool pose, and it works. But when you see how the Monster Force hold it and that articulation over the top on the trigger finger, and then look how his hand's holding up underneath on the furniture.
It's easier, yeah.
Oh, it's just more natural. The weight of his arm. You know, I'm a sculptor by nature, so man, everything is about weight. You know, and it just they end up looking so much more natural.
Yep. A lot of people need it for Outback.
Yeah.
Getting that comment a lot.
Yeah. It's a great Outback gun for sure.
Cool. You guys get anything before I run into some fan Q&A and then we'll do mechs?
No, let's hear some.
I was just going to ask about, since you're doing all this work, any more loadouts on the way? You know, we're getting, you know, more classified figures, you know, dial tone, leatherneck, and all that stuff. I'm just asking Mark if any other loadouts.
I think there's a few loadouts we'd like to get in. Well, I took a picture. In fact, if you pull up, I don't know if you can pull up on our website.
I got it.
So if you pull up that last gun, the G3, there's a retro trooper I took a shot of with that gun.
Okay, yeah.
So that figure, it's one of the small photos, you know, in there.
Yeah.
But that figure is wearing our ultimate infantry loadout, and man, it looks so good on him because that color, you know, that real dark blue, and the, you know, we designed those suspenders to have a real retro feel with the kind of engraving in it, and you know, we put the holster where it fits a 45, or I think we have Beretta in there or something. But you know, the way that wore.
Mark, if you can hear us,
Mark, you're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted, Mark.
Oh, he is muted. He hit the button.
Hey, Mark.
Can't unmute. Their mic isn't connected. Your mic isn't connected.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, now it is. So your last 10 seconds, repeat.
Okay.
Thanks.
So I talked about the pouch with the belt going in there.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so like having that war belt with those pouches, those ammo pouches, are really nice, man, to have like for that suspender setup. And so yeah, if you're looking for a loadout for that retro figure, that our infantry loadout is perfect for him. It's really designed for him.
Awesome. Great.
Here's my retaliation roadblock with the war belt. So it comes with the sidearm.
Yeah, that's our war belt for that we did with Sergeant Slaughter and
Doc.
Yeah. I think we used him in a sniper set as well.
Yeah.
That old classic 45 flap holster, man, we love.
Would you consider, thank you, East Coast Cody, appreciate you, man. Would you consider doing a blunderbuss or a flintlock pistol?
That's a funny question, man. I just how do I answer that? There's a Monster Force story in there, but I can't say anything.
Okay, I like that answer. That's pretty great.
Good answer.
Awesome. Yeah, very cool. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys tonight. All right, cool. All right, so we got that going. We got the guns. You know what? Let's clean up. We got a lot of questions. I'll just clean up some now. This was asked like before we even went on. So he asked this on every show, but he deserves it. We love you, Stanley. Mark, chances of a Cold Slither band instrument loadout for the Ramen van. Gun Bunny is customizing a Cold Slither tour van for me. Cold Slither is classified cannon with the number 18 metalhead rope plate.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you we're working with. I mean, we've had some really good talks with Ramen Toys. I don't know if that's revealing anything, but
talk about it. Yeah.
So we really like them over there. Ace is a great guy, and I think they've provided us with some of the plan details of the van for us to look at upgrades to. So there's a really good possibility we'll be having some modifications to that van coming in 2025.
Awesome. And there's our dude in the freaking show, man. Tony Figs did a review. I'm sure you guys saw it, but if you didn't, we had the first look at the Ramen Toy REV Raider, aka the Punisher War Van. Go check it out. Thank you, Tony Figs. You did a phenomenal job. And I'll ask you, Tony, what's your next step with it? You got another step coming.
I need to talk that over with Mark because I can do my own.
He's waiting for Gridiron.
Oh, okay. Well, let's discuss. We're here.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had told him he has the communications dish already. Boom. He has more stuff on that already, but you give it to him. He's got
I can tell you we definitely have the early setups that we're talking about are definitely Punisher version. You can guarantee that we're going to make some set that's going to go for the A-team version.
Yes.
Since we already have the gun,
Never mind. He told me that.
Are you going to grab the prototype that we got and kind of help with some of that?
Yeah, if you still have that, Tony? Yeah, have Tony hold on to that for a little bit because I could use that for
for now. Yeah.
No, we have the actual STL. They've provided us the full thing, but to have a physical model is really nice because we can test prints against.
It only makes sense because I think Ace wanted multi-use. He's like, ship it to all these people, but now since you live close to Tony, and now I think this can really help out Ace since we weren't able to ship to a bunch of YouTubers and shit. So I think now it's going to help you with this loadout that you guys are going to work on.
When I bring it, I need a couple shots from the relic. Set me up with some shots.
You gotta give a lot of people don't realize
the relic is his bar.
We have a bar inside the shop, so it's which we.
Well, let me just clear before we get KJ to ask a question because this is about the Punisher van thing. It's got to be a collab with Tony's Figs. Tony's Figs has got to help. Tony's Figs branded with this. We got to get him on with the Punisher War Van loadout.
Always collab with my guy.
Hey, just giving you a heads up, man. Some people are having problems with the next button it's not necessarily going to the next page. If you wait a few seconds, though, it should, though. But you can also press the numbers to navigate throughout the catalog as well.
Yeah. And if they're having a next issue, sometimes they need to like clear out, like reboot, start their computer fresh. Yeah.
I forget how much of this stuff I like, man. The blast effects with the G36 set. Are we going to see any more blast effects?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'd like to probably hit up some heavy weapon blast effects. We'd love to do a howitzer blast effect. Would be cool.
Hey, Mark, I'm going to throw this out there since we're talking about blast effects.
Gotcha,
One of my favorite things that I've gotten from Gridiron is so simple, right? It's this thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite pieces.
All right, so I love this thing. I'm such a nerd. When we were kids, we all wanted something like this, right? The technology, I feel like it's a $6 million man. The technology is now available for a third party like you, or for even people at home doing 3D prints. There's an opportunity now to add the third party weapons, third party things. When it comes to LED or any type of light up effects, have you guys looked into that? Is that anything that you guys would like to expand on with like blast effects or anything like that? Or is that no, the cost is too much?
Yeah, a lot of times, like with that piece, we found a really affordable way for us to be able to assemble that correctly, right? And the concept is very simple, but we knew if we could sculpt the fire to look real and the stones and the rocks to look real, it would prove the illusion, right?
Right.
But the working flicker, tea light is that was the magic. That was the little magic sauce. But the funny part is, whenever we look at like weapon systems, or you think like miniguns that would be miniguns that would light up or that kind of thing. We've looked at several times, and it always becomes either not feasible off availability of product, or just outprices it.
Okay.
So I could tell you this though, we have a really good friend. Some of you guys probably know it's Andre from Toy Surgeon on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
he does, dude. Like, I'll tell you right now, he makes some of the most elaborate custom, and you know how like there's customs, and then there's like this thing up here, where it's like it's almost like real life, hand sewn cloth, the cloth stuff, and the
Right.
The lit up like lighting effects. Like he's done a minigun lit up on one of the vehicles. Just crazy stuff. So
Nice.
I would say that probably is still on the hobby side versus for like smaller companies. I mean, just answer it honestly. But I think it's a great point where the technology is definitely getting there, where it's probably right on the verge.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is what we all dreamed about as kids, right?
It is
expanding the universe, or bringing. I mean, GIJoe is a ridiculous universe, and you're bringing reality to it, right? So that people can really do some beautiful photography or different display options. So, like, we all thought when we were kids, it would be cool if this toy made a sound, or if this lit up.
Right.
So we're almost. So you're saying we're not there just yet for a third party company.
I think it's like right on the verge. Like when I think of and it's kind of interesting because I would almost say that kind of thing you may see faster with the independents than you would on like a big corporate level.
Okay.
Because we're always kind of on the edge to try things, right? That maybe they couldn't. But I could tell you, it kind of goes back to the 80s. Remember the old what was the line that had the big backpacks with the sound buttons on GIJoe?
The Sonic.
Yes.
Right. I know what you're talking about. Yep.
So remember how big those packs were?
Yep.
They're like gigantic, right? They were like 3/4 the size of the figure, and it was supposed to be a believable like pack. And it shows you like even that technology back then for like a sound chip or a just wasn't there. And I kind of feel like it's that with LEDs, like that LED technology is so old, and a lot of people don't know that. Like it goes way back.
Yeah.
But the batteries, that's been probably the newest innovation, is that the batteries that run those lights, it doesn't need almost any juice. And they finally got the battery technology to be smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right.
So I think for like us, if you think of those, what is it, C25s or whatever, like those little batteries, we just need those a little smaller, and they could slip right in the back of a housing on a minigun, and we'd be all set.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. One day.
All right.
One day. It's
Hey,
going to
guys.
happen. Yeah.
We got a great big super chat here, so I want to give a shout out to how come it's not pulling up? What the hell? All right, here we go. All right. Afflicted Studios, thanks so much, brother. Mark, consider a lift kit and larger tires for the Stinger. Have you considered a lift kit and even larger?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We have I don't want to say too much, but yeah, there's a yes. It's there.
He kind of had a follow-up. He said Pixel Studios, who are great as well on Etsy, made a lift kit and you can use RC tires, but he'd like the gridiron take. That's his follow-up on that.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. I think Pixel's doing a great job. I think it's apples and oranges again. I think he's doing a great job with a really small quantity.
Yeah.
And our quantity has to now meet a certain standard of the amount that's going out. I really have to think about a lot of things before I get there. Yeah. So I think for a guy that's making some really unique pieces and can get a few out, he's the guy. I mean, there's some cool stuff. So, but yeah, we definitely have plans from the beginning. There's been a plan for a lift kit. We just didn't know how the tires, how good would they look as is. And it's like, man, there's been a more like my Jeep. I'm a Jeep guy, and I have like a 3-inch lift, and my tires aren't that big, but they feel big because they're real wide. And I'm happy with it. I'm not hanging out in the air. My knees aren't getting busted trying to climb into it, and it feels like it looks right for me. So that's kind of what my inspiration.
Hey, Mark. Since building off of that, have you ever thought about doing just the wheel base and then saying, hey, here's some third party like rubber wheels that you can get, RC wheels that you can get on Amazon?
Yeah, you could. I mean, like when we went through all that, I think I understand, Baldy. You're kind of talking about an adapter set.
Yes.
Something that could go. I think the only trick to that would
you supply the core, and then somebody can go, hey, these are the options that'll fit this core.
Yeah, I think the only problem with that is we run into if you look at the RC community, there's like a million manufacturers and they're all different.
Okay.
So it's like it'd be hard to kind of do an adapter that would fit wide enough range, probably, I'm guessing. But yeah, it's a good point.
Cool. All right. Well, KJ, cue up the Mark Morrison, brother. It's time to move on.
Oh!
Come on. Oh, yeah. All right. Here we go. The moment many of us have been waiting for. It's all about the return of the Mech. Is this the beginning of the Gridiron toy line, Mark?
I will absolutely confirm that.
Yeah, baby.
This to me is the beginning. And Travis, you and I go way
I've been
back.
quiet for so long.
Travis, from the early stages, man, you were I basically had you as a witness to one of our early designs, and here we are, right? We're kind of getting there. So that should show you the direction we're going in has been really 3.5 years in the making. So we're excited for that.
Awesome.
And
you guys
show
take
you
it away.
Cool stuff? You want me to show you something?
Yeah. Show. Yeah. How about that?
Well, let's just start with this first, right? So we have whatever, it's hard with pictures to see what you're actually getting, but with this lower, the cool part is the articulation. So we decided not to do knees, and we've had people, go both ways on this. But if I could help them understand, this wasn't we weren't worried about the drone crouching. We were worried about the battle stance, getting a wide base stance and then still having that kind of at attention stance, right? So with the ankles articulated and the hips articulated, you get that kind of flex out of the actual like ankle rotation. So this whole thing of being able to come in and then move, and then having this, the torso is what we're calling them, this torso piece, having that be the main, but the durability of this, I mean, you could see this isn't a ragdoll. Like this is our first shot at articulation. And it's very nice, man. It's taken this long to really figure out that recipe, but man, we're so excited because this takes us in a whole different direction. Now, I want to show real quick. I hate to do a demo on your show, but I had a lot of questions about how does this go on this? And this was because initially the thought was, these could be positioned on a battlefield as almost like a refueling. Once the battle pods were done, they could slide into this.
Like a docking station.
As a docking station.
Nice.
And the cool part is it's all compression fit. So once again, I said, Quaid, this is one of his big skills. He just knows this compression so well that all you have to do is squeeze. And this thing is in. So it's really got a, it's kind of like the Vamp. You know how like the Vamp with the APC kind of like.
Only on you, David. Cool
because you're like, how is this holding on? But it's on there. And so Quaid did an excellent job with this. And there's an easy push out. So like if you push one of these little feet pegs back, he snaps off. So it's all compression. So picture it like a peg, like a compression fit peg. But so there's no locks, there's nothing you have to do. He's been, to show you, there's nothing falling off. So that's very really cool. And it has a really cool, battle base to it, and yet you can still kind of have him standing there. So yeah, to kind of, I want to at least show people how it went on. The cool part is we started showing this, I think a couple weeks back. We started showing the black and red version, the green version, right? And you'll notice your insides on this one are different. We did a drone mech torso. So now we're thinking, some of you might freak out here a little bit, but this is going to be kind of a flash because I don't want people to. This is never been seen before. And with this now people should start to recognize this as the Pack 44 drone head. Yeah. It has now been completely redesigned in FDM, so this is no longer resin.
Ooh,
nice.
And check this out. So if this is a prototype, so an early FDM prototype, but give you kind of an idea.
There we go.
There's your button. So you can pull off your. So people have been asking about this, like when are we going to adapt our new drone system to the original 44 and 45? And if you guys remember, the 44 and 45 made up the snowmobile.
Yep.
Well, that should answer that question for you.
I got another quick question right here.
Awesome.
I picked up a mech lower for the Trouble Bubble. Are you going to make one for Python Patrol Trouble Bubble?
Yeah, that's been a huge question. Yeah, and we're absolutely going to have that version.
You know, it's funny. Isaac beat me to it. I was going to ask that question.
Yeah, that's been probably the biggest question. It's kind of funny, I think when we all, everybody was, I know people were trying to pick up some of the clearance ones, but there was a lot of skipping of that bubble altogether. Like there was a lot of people that just kind of passed it up. And it's interesting now because the feedback we're getting on that, where they really, everybody really likes the idea of that being kind of the grounded bubble, like a walking mech. So it's cool because of the jungle stuff, I guess, and all that. Makes sense.
Yeah. And here's one. Are you gonna make any more parts besides the legs for the trouble bubble?
Yeah. So arms are next. I can say that. Arms are next. And when I say arms, I mean arms as in some big old weapons.
Guns, yeah. Weapons. Yeah.
And then there's going to be a third phase that's hopefully going to come in. We're hoping somewhere around Thanksgiving is we have the final phase, which will be a steel canopy, and I'll keep that a surprise.
Cool. All right, one more question before I go to the boys. John Battle, thanks for joining us. I love seeing all the new names. Mark, have you thought about doing weapons for Transformers?
Yes. In fact, we had a really good talk with one of the big Transformer retailers that are here in Arizona, and also had talk with Big Bad Toy Store. There was definitely a need for that kind of thing. So we're looking at it for sure. I think we could make some really cool, realistic, original retro weapons. That's where I'd like to start.
Awesome. Cool. If the boys have any questions about the mechs, they can go. How about we go with Tony?
No, I found out some stuff a long time ago, so I'm good.
Right.
It's just that I was thinking about the drones, how he's already made, and the pictures that have come out. The missiles, the Gatling cannon, the guns. I mean, it's there. All old school GIJoe is their Gridiron style now. So.
Yeah. So the cool part is if you notice that drone canopy or that drone torso that I was mentioning, that has our adapter that kind of goes to all of our uppers.
Yep.
This whole thing has been a drone army, right? This has been going on now for 2 years, right? We've been trying to build in. When you ask the question of, is this the beginning of our toy line? Our whole concept has been wrapped around the idea that Gridiron as a faction in your toy collecting world, whether it be Monster Force or it be GIJoe, we'd like to make the Gridiron toy line have its own faction feel of being a mechanized unit. So heavy armor, heavy weapons, really heavy metal army. So that's, if you start seeing these, you can start to get the feeling like, oh, okay. So if you look at this, like that exact setup for that drone, if you think of that as like a Bravo level, if you think, or even really a Charlie level. So if you have like a Charlie level mech or a trooper, this would be like your first century kind of walker. Then you would have a rideable walker. Then you would have an autonomous mech, and then you'd have vehicle support systems. It's that kind of idea that this is all that all of it can be used just in your Cobra army or your Joe army or your Monster Force armies, or it can just be a Gridiron faction army. That's the idea.
So, Mark, you're basically saying that Gridiron is the new Iron Grenadiers?
You said it.
There we go. So I'm going to ask a question that you already answered earlier, but for anybody who maybe ordered the mech legs, I ordered a couple sets myself. When are they going to start shipping? They should be shipping around now.
They are. Yeah, they started. In fact, the flight pod legs started shipping 2 days ago.
Okay.
And so that means we're probably pushing through. I'm guessing the rest of this week we'll still be shooting the flight pods, and then I'm thinking the green and the black ones probably start going out Monday, Tuesday, somewhere in there probably.
All right, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're right on them right now as far as the 15-day business day thing goes.
Perfect. Anybody else?
KJ's muted.
What do you guys think of these, man? What's your take on them?
I love this stuff, man. I really do. I love the photography you have here. You had some diorama mats earlier. Can we see like some urban terrain or like, battle headquarters diorama mats or anything like that? Like kind of the stuff that you use in your own photography.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're talking as far as a product.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can put something like that together for sure.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this stuff looks great, man. I've been Brian King. He has a quote: "My face hurts from smiling." That's me. I've been grinning ear to ear. I'm checking my bank account, being like, "Okay, what do I got to sell in order to get all the stuff I'm about to get?"
I can tell you, there's something cool too that I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about. And of course, man, this is Toy Kind of Mood. This is where I like to talk about this stuff. Is if you go back to that last photo with the insignias, on those shields. So this whole concept, I'm hoping people get what's going on here. We're trying to create in this endeavor of making a mechanized army. Is we're trying to now start up with insignias like division markings. There'll be, in fact, if you go to the next photo with the 44, the Impact 44. So those we're going to start having separate sets that you can buy with modified shield insignias.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Those shields pop off. So, and this is another thing, it's a good thing to talk about right now. Those shields are a keyhole that goes all the way through the leg. And we made that as another reinforced part of the leg, but it allows you to pull that out and to put like the grenade launcher, like the smoke grenade canister launchers. We include 2 of those little smoke grenades. So you could put one of those on each side of the leg if you want, and don't do the shields, or you can do 1 in 1, or you can just skip the smoke grenades altogether. Now, the cool part is when we get into the upper part with the shoulders and arms, there's going to be more of these accessory ports. That's a gridiron. We love to have all those accessory ports so you can add a bunch more weapons.
Yeah.
So these grenade launchers you could put on the shoulders if you wanted. So it's kind of cool. It gives you a chance to even make your mech when you get it. You can set yours up a little different depending on what insignia you want to go with. Or
that's awesome.
Some Voltron shit right there too.
Cool. All right, Deep Waters has a question. Are you still planning for a new missile system for the APC that won't blast the troops inside?
the back blast.
Yeah.
Definitely an enclosed rack. We're planning on doing an enclosed rack, and that'll be here before the end of the year for sure. It's going to be its own missile rack that's designed for the APC, and we actually have another. We're doing a roll cage. I think we're going to do a roll cage, basically a Stinger version roll cage that will have our missile rack that will be work with it.
All right.
Will there be a crossover with those shield logos that you have? Like, this is kind of where this is going here, like with the Crimson Moon Skull crossbone logo, or like Monster Force logo, or is there crossover opportunities?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I haven't talked to Bill about it yet, but that's all totally where we're heading. Like, if you could really start to apply
like
this
a big universe, and then everyone. Yeah, I get you. Okay, cool. Baldy, you got questions about these mechs? You were kind of gone for a second.
Yeah, sorry, my dog needed to go outside.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, so you got looking at these photos of these sick ass fucking drone mechs. You got any questions?
Well, no, not so much questions as really just kind of complimentary. Mark, these kind of stand on their own. So I think it's a nice design. It looks like a lot of fun. I do like that it can cross over between not just GIJoe, but Cobra, but then also Monster Force, and maybe any other type of military lines that are out there. So, which is pretty cool.
Army Force.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool. And I think this is kind of, you start as a third party, but you can kind of build from here. And, Microsoft started in a garage. So Gridirons, you have an opportunity to kind of grow your fan base here. I'm just going to say congratulations. I like this. It looks really inventive. If you decide you don't want to send it to Tony or to Travis and you want me to to view it first,
hey, I vouch for Baldy. I honestly vouch for Baldy to if he does it, he should review the mech, like any future mech. I know you already shipped this one out, but the future one, if you want to do an early review, get it to Baldy for his own channel. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a huge fan, Mark. I'm a huge fan. I like what you're doing because it feels like, you know, I feel like you're the kid I went to school with that is like you're a fan of the same stuff I am, and you're like, you know what? Let's go to the next level. Let's see what else we can do. Let's expand the world, which is what you're doing, which is really neat.
Dude, that means a lot, man. That's exactly. You couldn't hit it more on the head of how I feel being in this world. Like, for me, it's, you know, like we mentioned in the past, man, it's all gratitude. But I am that kid that was right next to you playing. You know, I feel the same thing you guys are feeling, and I think that's what has that little special thing with us. You know, is that this is all coming from a very genuine place. You know.
Hey, Mark, somebody mentioned earlier that, and I'm sorry in the chat if I'm not getting who did this, but maybe next year around Christmas, if you can revamp your website to look like the Sears catalog, that would be
that'd be cool.
That would be
awesome.
Yeah, you're hitting the head of the nostalgia right there.
That would be awesome, man. I'd be all over that. Sure. Oh man. What was I just gonna say, man? With that, I first of all, man, Baldy, I appreciate what you're saying. I mean, I think as far as like the design of these two, man, I think there's like, we're trying to make something that looks familiar but yet different, and that sounds easy, but it's actually pretty complicated because you kind of go one direction, you're like, oh, that's too much like Gundam or too much like Robotech or. So it's hard to make something that feels original, that also feel like it has our signature. And I think these like I said, these legs, and Travis can testify to this. These legs are very similar to the original design we had 3.5 years ago. So there's a lot to these and he knows the secret behind it. But there's a lot to these that are still to come, and when you start to see the bigger picture of the levels of these, and then I tried to take a picture this morning. I put it on Instagram. It was a bunch of the Trouble Bubble legs in a row, and it was kind of a promo shot to show the feeling of these mechs being part of an invasion force, or part of a. We always see troops and a bunch of figures and vehicles, but to have the feeling of a bunch of mechanized front line, walkers, man, dude, oh yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, that last shot. This was kind of a reel, but the very first shot was this just really cool. Like, it was all the legs kind of, there was a big chunk of legs on my desk, and I was like, I'm going to shoot this shot. And it kind of makes you start to feel like there's a feeling of Robotech in there. There's a feeling of, some of these mech kind of eras that we all enjoyed.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you picture like the Trouble Bubble, and we were looking and I think I told this story at some point. We were sitting there with the lower, and we were just intending it for our uppers, kind of like a drone. And we were looking at the flight pod, and we're like, the way it's cut out on the sides, it was just like this cutout.
Yeah.
It just made sense. We were like, that's designed for it, And depending on what we do back here, because you can imagine we have plans for all this stuff, but there's just some cool things going on here.
Yeah. So before we get into fan questions, do we have any final things for the panel to ask Mark or talk with Mark, or do you want to just run through the comments that we got? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
You guys good? I feel like you guys got everything. Okay, cool. This is a funny one. This is from way earlier, David. Got to convince Mark to do some Gridiron wrestling gear to boost the viewership. Yeah. So I don't think that'll ever happen, but
not happening.
All right. Mark, how far would you travel for a convention? Seattle's Emerald City Comic-Con or Jake Stevens Summer Con south of Seattle? You want you to come to Washington.
Man, we a side note, man, we were actually contracted to do a souvenir for Emerald City about 10, gosh, it's probably 8 years ago. We did kind of a cool souvenir card setup with my old company, and it's kind of funny to see Emerald City, man. That con is very big, very good. So I don't know, it's hard for us right now. We've got, with all of our family and how busy we are, shows are very hard for us. I mean, I don't think people understand, like, there's a lot of logistics that goes in, and we don't like to do anything lightly. So
Right. So this says, are there any conventions you're at? So you got no plans, I'm assuming, for any immediate conventions.
There's nothing on. We have some local shows, and we have we'll be at Comic-Con next year in some fashion.
Right,
So,
but anytime soon, nothing. Because though I actually had this in the slides. I want to give a shout out to Brian Sauer, codename Iowa. Assembly Required is this weekend, and we touched upon this before you joined us. David actually said, "Is anybody going?" And no one else in the chat did. That doesn't mean I'm sure it's going to be a full house as usual. They do a great job. After Joe Fest, this is like the Joe Fest. So some people like this show better because it's more intimate, which I thought Joe Fest was intimate. So for this to be more intimate, that sounds, and I wanted to go, but I had to work Texas State Fair, then go to Boston. But otherwise, I'd probably go. It's not in my wheelhouse. And also Tony's birthday is that weekend. So I'd have to go to Phoenix instead, right, Tony? So you got a birthday coming up. But yeah, Assembly, I just wanted to give them a shout on a show. We got 108 people watching. So, but anybody going to Assembly Required, let us know. But we'd love to see you at more conventions, Mark. I mean, we definitely want you you were supposed to be at Joe Fest this year. We're still going to give you shit about that. But maybe next year, Joe Fest, man. Let's do it. Come on.
We're going to make GridCon. Let's make a GridCon.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Great.
That's one thing we've talked about is trying to bring everybody here to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Why is it on me?
I don't know why he did that.
You're laughing like crazy.
No, because you said GridCon. I get it. It's funny.
We're gonna make GridCon. We're gonna bring everybody to Phoenix. I ain't bullshit.
I want a GridCon shirt, man. Yeah,
totally.
I doubt this guy is here anymore because he asked this a long time ago. Oh, what was that, Tony?
Oh no, I just said just bring everybody here to AZ, like Mark said, for a GridCon.
We have good weather, man. There's a particular window of good weather here. We'd like to get some.
It's like right now, huh?
Dude, the last time I was in Arizona, it was 135 degrees. I had a wristwatch.
It's nice and cool now, baby. It's nice
and melted on my arm.
Totally. I'll tell you, man, it's a great place to do a good venue during the nice time. If we could get something to happen, we've talked about it, man. It'd be cool to have a cool custom con here.
Okay.
That would be fun.
Used to the magic word right there.
We could sponsor. We could have some control over, which would be good.
I'd be down for Arizona. It's close enough. One asked a long time ago.
Grow.
What was it?
No, I was going to say, Mark, you start small and then let it grow.
That's been
that's what she said, right?
Yeah, God, man, so disrespectful.
What's going on with you, Baldy? All right.
Did you grow up with women around you or what?
He turned heel. He turned heel this morning. He woke up and turned heel. Okay. Are you guys not making the walls anymore? The walls of Jericho.
Sugar walls.
You mean the ones that make a cube that have like
trench, a bunker, a porta potty,
the modular
radars and lights on and stuff? No. Well, those walls are being redesigned for the same reason the cases are being redesigned. We're going to a more solid wall, same concept. Just instead we had like a Kydex insert into resin as the frame, and it just never was as durable as we wanted it. Now we have the capability, so we're trying to change it, make it better.
So this expansion has really changed things for you in the entire catalog.
Everything. Yeah. So like, for example, what you see in that cube that just got kind of released, like we're going to hammer all kinds of things around that. So just wait.
I can see you guys doing the gunwall hooks on the other side. I can see you adding on turrets. We can plug in all the different things. You've seen it with the shielded miniguns. Look, I'm literally starting to salivate at the possibilities. I'm just here.
Well, if you ever
Hey,
saw
KJ,
what
relax.
Toyomic did with the our MDS wall system, he did that huge display. And as you stack those on top of each other, they did a really good job with the Kydex insert. But if we were solid, you could go to the ceiling. You can make as big of a base as you wanted, as you know. So you could make a headquarters, and we could make pieces more integrated for a headquarters.
Yeah.
So that's the idea there. All exciting stuff for 2025 for sure.
Got it. Our friend from Delta 17, Steve, says you and your boys are making some of the best stuff I've seen in a long time. Really great stuff, Mark. I'd love to own 5 of everything. Just a shout.
17. There's Shepard.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, those are some good guys over there as well, man. Just making, I mean, talking about like having the passion and love for this like toy line, man. When it comes to 118 retro toys, man, that line is awesome. So, yeah, Delta 17 rocks.
Brian's hoping for an enemy combat medic loadout to give one of his 10 Cobra troopers.
Brian's always on me about that, man. He just follows me around and hunts me down. No, man, it's you know where it's coming. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get it back on.
Kaiju Daddy, love that name. Tap into playsets. I think we've talked about that with you a million times. I mean, I don't know if you got like a 1-word answer for that or something, but yeah.
Our MDS wall systems, our modular wall system. That's where we're going in 25 for sure.
Gridiron Maggot.
Speaking of the modular wall system and the spotlight, can you make it so that it lights up, or at least can fit this thing in it?
Our spotlight does light up.
Oh, it does.
It does.
Yeah, I got it around with my set.
Well, don't I look like a dickhead?
Yeah, you do.
We weren't gonna say anything, but
I don't have it, so I didn't know.
No, you actually really do. It's funny.
Yeah, because you got a bald head with a beard. That's a dick head. All right. Will there be a custom gurney made for the Dragonfly?
Dark.
Yeah, so that was part of my question I didn't want to answer last time about the medic stuff going to the Vamp. It all kind of goes together. So yes, is my answer again.
And then you already answered this already. Where are the bunker walls? We already talked about that. Hoping Gridiron brings back the katana stand and more martial arts stuff. I mean, this guy could use maybe an upgrade. Yeah, see, we both got him.
You know, it's hard. You know, we did that whole, like, we've had a lot of, like, you know, ninja weapons. Like, we did that ninja week, you know, where we did a bunch of martial arts stuff. And, you know, it's funny. Like, I hate to say it. Like, I love all that stuff. But it's funny how that stuff doesn't move very well. So, you know, and we did our best trying to design some cool stuff. But, man, it just...
I don't think it's your audience. I don't think it's your audience.
I don't think it is either. Yeah. And if there's other guys making it better, man, more power to them. We did our best shot at it. I think our samurai set, the one that had the 3 swords on the stand, that to me was like that's one of my favorite sets we ever did. I mean, it was very like ornate, but yet the scale was really nice, you know.
Yeah, and I think it would go good with this one because this is a very samurai Bushido version of Storm Shadow, this classified one. It's polarizing, as you can see. Tony made the classic version, but
it looks like they did pretty good. Like accessories, they did.
I love this figure. Yeah, I like the accents. I think it's cool.
Yeah, but yours can't do that. Yours can't do that.
On the clutch M4, what is the add-on that is molded on the angles down on the left front rail? It is also on the one-man army Barrett too.
Hold on, let's see. Clutch.
It has that weapon. I don't.
I see. Clutch for
what add-on is it? It's not the laser. It's not the
left front rail. I think that's
on a rail, right?
I'm trying to remember what's on there. It's
KJ's got it, I think. You're in the clutch unless it's not readily available, KJ.
No, I got it. I got it. Hold on.
That's the laser box, I think.
I'm gonna look at the website. Okay, which one are you talking about, Travis? You were born.
He's talking clutch. What's the add-on molded?
This was a long time ago. He might not be with us anymore.
Okay.
So
Oh, hey Mark, was that EOTech? The optic or?
No, because that's the if you've seen it on the left. Oh, that could have been the drop down. That could have been the magnifier probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one that. Yeah, it's hard to see, but yeah, I think it's just the magnifier.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's tough to see.
The magnifier. There's a laser
Also,
light,
shout out to this clutch MF because
that's what I missed. I slept on it.
If you have Hasbro blast effects, even though I
it.
know Gridiron, you have blast effects as well, but the Hasbro blast effects will also work on this clutch M4. So we got to get more Gridiron blast effects.
Nice.
We gotta get Mitch.
for sure. All right, I like this one because I just opened up this guy.
Very nice.
Will the jetpack jump station ever be released? Get Starduster now.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that's actually a topic of our last 2 meetings. So we're looking at doing something a little different to it, but we would like to be able to offer the pad by itself. It was always came with the jump pad and all the stuff. We'd like to get it where it's affordable, like where all the legs were independent. We'd like to do one print and have the dual color now, so you could get the insignias on the pad. That I think is where we're going, and you may see that probably sooner than later. Probably, we would like to do something with the Dragonfly at the same time. So stand by for
Gun
that.
Bunny in the house.
Awesome. Hey, Mark, when you're looking at stuff like that, so are you looking at, hey, Hasbro is also offering a jetpack. So now we can kind of remove that, drop the cost.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
I'm
that's a great
David's
I think that's
comment right
on.
here.
Like we have to be aware of that because
sure,
like some of the stuff kind of like you think of Doc, right? Doc was a great example. Like all of a sudden this Doc figure had a stretcher, had some different things. So we're going to be doing a modified version of our medic set because I think there was still items that we did that people would enjoy as a supplemental set.
Without needing,
we can also get it a little cheaper,
The set right here.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that, like in the medic set, that backpack with the laptop, I still think that's one of the coolest moves for like a medic.
Awesome. Yeah.
It is.
So he didn't come with a backpack, so we have that, and then you can use the folding stretcher. We don't have to make that big stretcher anymore. So, we can always do the stretcher as a separate piece that people could buy on their own. So that's been some of the talk. Yeah.
You're going to adapt to the market, which is smart.
Yeah, and I think we have to on some of that where we've already hit it hard where, as numbers start to, kind of slide because now people move on to the other figures. We found it's better than just kind of sitting on an old loadout that nobody's really buying as much. It's probably better for us to make a supplemental loadout that people be excited about.
Compartmentalize it. Yeah.
You made the Cobra version, which was awesome. Yeah. Although Cobra probably wouldn't care if people die on the battle.
I read that so many times. I think I like that feeling of them being human still, especially at the troop level. So they're trying to help each other.
Got it. This is from David Speck. Mark, if you were to just get one Monster Force figure from season 1, what's your favorite Monster Force figure that's out right now? Do you have a favorite?
Delta Red for sure.
Okay, here we go, David.
And then when's Captain Gridiron drop?
Equipment is
Commander Gridiron.
Commander Gridiron.
Yeah. Well,
when's it coming?
So the last I've heard is they're trying to, because there was such a big space between product from first announcement to product delivery, they're trying to shrink that up a little bit is what I'm hearing. Like they're not wanting to release now that it's started. They don't want to release so far out in advance. So I think there was talk of it still being pre-ordered this year before the end of the year. That's what I've heard. We'll see.
We got 4 more. We're going to do 4 more questions so we can wrap up right at the 2 hour and 30 mark.
You want to put Abbott's in there? The second one
Yeah.
after Johnny.
Can you guys star that one for me? Because I'm looking at the starred.
Okay, let me.
sheet.
All
right, so Cage's
can we star
Customs.
them?
You could. Nobody can. Is it just
No,
me?
I
check.
can.
Cage's
I don't
muted.
know who it is that you're talking.
I'm looking at Abbott's.
I'll find
I
it.
mean, he's putting a
It's
bunch
the Alpine.
of shit.
It's just the Alpine backpack, and I was going to show it.
All right, go
Okay.
ahead. Do that one now, so you could just.
Just solo me
about it?
real quick.
Yeah.
Abbott, this
All right.
is the mountaineering loadout that Mark made a long time ago when I made an Alpine custom. Now that Alpine's official one come out, I've got Mark's loadout on it, and there's his pack, and he's got climbing tool there. If you can see it.
Wow, that's necessary.
Yeah, that just makes Alpine so much better. The guy didn't come with a damn backpack.
Right.
This is a fucking travesty. This is what I have to do. Like, look at this.
Right.
I don't even know. Like, I'm hanging guns on.
You got
like,
shit hanging.
this is
Wrong with
fucking
you?
brutal.
Dropping shit.
Yeah, like, what is going on here? Yeah, look at this. He's got stuff sticking out of his ass. Like, yeah, we need a backpack. So. Can we just sell the backpack?
Yeah, that backpack was a cool set for us because I mean, it had that winch where you like what Baldy was saying with the little fire. You know, there's a playability that we all used to love, and we thought incorporating that into a backpack is just awesome. You know, it's a fun way to do it. Like Airborne, you know, we tried to put that little lobster claw so it felt like a tagline. You know,
So well done.
So
That's
exquisite. Exquisite. Yeah.
Great. All right, I'm going to finish up with these four now. All right, so this is a comment because it's a question from me because Cage just said, these are awesome. I think he was showing you the mech stuff. The former head of licensing and acquisition. So have you talked to John Warden? Have you spoken to John Warden at all from GIJoe?
Yeah, we've all been in talks.
Okay, that's where I was getting at. All right. I've spent over $15 million with Gridiron alone in 2024. Their shipping department should know my address by heart. It's from Mocob. How many orders? Good job with the creative design. So big love from Big Mo.
Thanks, man.
Fight Figure Club wants to know. Oh, imagine doing this on another show. Man, they'd have your ass, but I don't care. I'm pretty cool. Mark, want to be a guest on a different YouTube channel than this one? I'm okay with it. He didn't even have to pay me. I'm all right with it. I'm not gonna
pimp you out. He's trying to pimp you out.
All
Mark.
good.
Oh man, you know we're good. Anybody that's willing to tell our story and have us be a part of, we've said it from the beginning, man. I don't even care about your number of followers or any of that stuff. It's always been about. Yeah. I mean, we owe it to anybody that wants to hear us because every day I get to wake up and I get to make the toys that I always wanted. And I'm surrounded by my kids, and we're all we're all pushing the same direction. Dude, I can never be grateful enough to everybody. So yeah, man, Amen. You want us on your show, we're happy to be there.
Hey, Abby, he's been on Lawrence's show, so yeah, he can do yours.
Who? Who's that?
Larry.
How do you say it? Lawrence?
Punk with toys.
Oh, I've been saying puke with toys.
Oh, I didn't say that. Larry Baldy did.
All right. So the last one.
He's probably in
is
bed
so
in freaking Michigan.
Mark, are you a Cardinals fan? Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, I was a football coach, man, for a long time, high school, and I think there was a part of me that still Arizona's a rough one for me, man. When it comes to sports, I was a Suns fan, but Cardinals. I was a true Chargers fan for about 25 years. So it's hard, man. When they moved to LA, the whole thing's been really kind of weird. But Cardinals I'm here, man. I love football and I love, what's going on. And they're obviously this year, man, they're getting ready to pull it off. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I didn't already go to the game in Boston, I'm looking at my calendar, December 15th. It's Gridmas. Patriots at Cardinals, but I can't travel anymore, man. I've been traveled out. I've tapped out. I'm going to be traveling a lot for Auto Show February and March, so I won't be in Arizona probably in December, but that would have been a good time.
Dude, December is a rough month for us. It's rough. I mean, there ain't no way to candy coat it. It is
no way at Gridmas.
Dude, it's good. And you look at this year of all the kind of big events that really the different kind of line of stuff we brought out. This Christmas, I mean, we're just trying to prepare now.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have, Mark.
I'll take it any day of the week.
That's awesome.
Amen.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, a good problem to have is the 10% off at Gridiron, and you have another 2 hours and a half Pacific time. So 2.5 hours left to use ATKM 10 for 10% off at gridironprops.com. The entire store, shirts, everything. There's like biscuits and gravy, all kind of stuff you can get. It's gonna be awesome. Wrapping paper for Baldy's head.
There's a little coupon code. You just put it in the coupon section right when you're getting ready to check out.
ATKM 10. Guys, we got anything else for our friend Mark here before we blast off?
Anybody? KJ.
I'm good. I'm good.
Just keep up the
brother.
great work, man. We've been big fans for a long time. So just keep shining and just stay with it, man. Like, we're true believers out here. And so thank you for giving us so much of your time this evening. Definitely.
Oh, dude, from the beginning, man, you guys have allowed people to even know who we are. That very first show we did with you, and I think we had like 2 sets. I think we just logged in SKU number 552.
Yeah.
Woo. So it's been a crazy 4 years,
Yes, it has.
What a wild ride, man. That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a hell of a wild ride with you, Mark. I can't thank you enough. We just, on the whim, a few days ago, we asked. We had a phone call today, and this went about as good as it could have went. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother, for having me. You guys, man. You guys know I love all you guys, man. You're with us, man. We carry you with us everywhere we go. So it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
For sure. And thank you all, guys, for watching. We had incredible numbers tonight. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for putting up with Baldy's bald-ass dickhead. No, I'm kidding. My dickhead. But Anthony, KJ, Baldy, love you guys. Welcome to the Terradrome. Shout out to the Figure Alliance, right? Freaking awesome.
Figure Alliance.
Figure Alliance.
Yeah, they had a great show earlier. Go check that out. And shout out to Spec. Go check out @Toy Optics. He's got a new YouTube channel. Check that stuff out. I got some stuff now. I'm back in LA. I'm situated. I got some stuff. I got a ranking video coming out. What I'm gonna, do the Alpine and Nemesis Immortal and all that stuff. I'm gonna rank some toys. Operation Monster Force is coming. Got a Marvel Legends figure set coming. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos, and hopefully the Dragonfly will be here within the next couple weeks, and we'll get that reviewed for you guys as well. But in the meantime, for Trav Moody, we'll see you in the toy aisle. Toy kind of mood. Peace.
Peace.